Giveaway started.
Tell me what this says. All right.
Where's the
Bottom. There you go. Nice.
The one was talking to you, Aaron.
Bottom.
Hello?
You rang.
Hello?
Hello.
Tim, was that on stream?
Yeah.
So. Shit.
Walls are slowly caving in.
So we're starting off strong today.
Catcher, Torok, Tier. It didn't save Solomon.
Solo man.
Solomon. Cool. And the test one is working, so once I get everybody's characters made on D&D Beyond, if you want to help me out with that, Justin.
Sure. They're already made. Except for Torok and Tier. Well, you made Tier.
Okay. I'm gonna take a picture of Torok stuff tonight and make it.
Well, once we get all of those...
Just make it.
Once we get all those made and I get the links...
That's fine. Yeah, I gotta take a picture of his stats and stuff. Yeah.
I can take those links and I can turn them into...
Is somebody named Jotaro?
That's my character, and that's not Jotaro. It's just Jotaro.
Jotaro. He is the most...
Aaron, you need to scoot that
blissful character that's ever existed in a campaign. He makes things go so smooth.
Yeah.
I've never had a campaign run as smooth.
That's what I wanted to bring to the character.
Michael, I see that you've written a story that's going this way. Guess where I'm going to go with it? That way.
I'm going to take this body.
I'm going to go the opposite direction.
Says the motherfuckers, because I'm pointing at both of you, that as two ships were sinking during a storm, decided that their new best friend was going to be a goblin, and that was where the story was taking us.
I would like to point out, I was not there for that yet.
Oh, that's true. No. This is on you.
I would like to point out that Darkle has become a very important centerpiece to your campaign, and without me, without me, this homebrew wouldn't exist. You're welcome.
Yikes.
Kent just wants to see children succeed.
And Pepperjack wants them to make his motherfucking money.
No.
Be real careful. There's a whole lot of children stuff going on YouTube and Twitch and
Pepperjack
Facebook.
Make pickpockets.
Let's be real careful about what we say about children for a little bit.
That's what I mean by
a little bit. Shouldn't that be an always thing?
No.
Just recently.
Our channel can't take a hit of pedophilia.
Yikes. You said the P word.
Oh,
now we can't be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a fun session of Toptabling. We'll see you all later.
Where did these dice come from?
Your butt.
The map. Came with the map. Give them away. We have a giveaway dice.
We have more giveaway dice. These ones are black. They're pretty nice. They're just generic black, but... Oh, no, they're stony.
You're that psychopath who shows them.
Yeah, don't touch them. You're gonna...
My rolls are usually pretty good.
No, your rolls are against...
As long as
they're actually really nice. They're like stone.
Michael's gonna be like, well...
They're mine now.
Cool!
The giveaway is up and going, so anybody that wants to enter, just remember it's exclamation point raffle. Other than that, remember that we are back here Thursday morning. I gotta update the calendar. The calendar is a little off right now. Thursday morning at 11 o'clock, we will be back for the first episodes of Storm King's Thunder.
And Wednesday.
And no, Friday is Waterdeep this week. Yeah, it's Monday, Thursday, Friday this week. Monday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. And then as soon as we finish up Waterdeep, we're going to Star Wars. So tune in and help us get through that, because if you have bits to donate, we really need the rolls.
Nah, they're fine. Everything's fine in that
need those
campaign.
rolls.
Everything's fine. There's not going to be a TPK.
So, who wants to recap last episode? It's gonna be you, Michael. You're the only one that takes notes. Aaron's doing his own snap.
Yeah, Justin.
Fucking assholes. I take notes.
Aaron's doing Snapchat, so...
We never titled last time episode, but I think it should be titled,
Ya boy.
The episode of notes. Ya boy.
The episode of notes, ya boy.
Yeah. So we gathered together to talk about what our plan was. Solomon decided to reach out to Anya and the priest of Sturgenvoss?
Yes.
To see the high priest.
Lazarus.
To see if they could figure out what was going on.
Put that in your fucking notes.
Lazarus?
Yeah.
You're very angry.
I paid attention.
No one, you recap it.
No, I did the nose. You also spiked the mic really loud. R.I.P. headphones.
Rip headphones. I apologize for what I just did there. I got angry. Anyways, we learned that the Gate of Air was at the Twin Peak Mountains, which we could then add to the fact that we now know where water, earth, chaos, air, and fire are. Anya said she was going to send some guards to the air gate to help protect it while we dealt with some other things, aka the tournament. Jacob managed to get himself to Blythetopia in a series of strange talking to skulls and teleportation circles. We spoke to Dead with Cal and found the soul of Bellatrix with inside Cal's thousands of souls inside of his body. And we talked to it, who told us a little bit about the trials that we're going to enter.
The Tournament of Blood.
Yes, the Tournament of Blood. We ended up sending She to where the tournament is going to be, the trials are going to start, which is at the Cloud Step mountain train. That's how we get there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the dragon, She went there so that we could teleport to her in a few days' time. Well, we went to address who our 8th person was going to be, which we ended up deciding was going to be Fennec, yes, which is somewhere in the bottom of the notes. My notes get a little bit crazy at the end.
You didn't decide. You decided you were going to attempt. Let's make sure we phrase this properly. Phrasing is very important at that
decided
point.
we're going to attempt. We had
Phrasing.
we then got a message from a whisper that told Ketra to come out to the desert where he met, presumably number one, this man named Atticus, who told us that he was going to use Blythe as a key to open up the plane of chaos, and Ketra kind of said no, but we were told that doesn't matter. It's a yes. It's going to be a yes from him, dog. To which Ketra came back, and we had a small meeting discussing what we're going to do, which is where we actually, I think, decided we're going to go get Fennec. The end.
That is correct.
That is correct. The infoning.
Okay, 1 second.
Gotta put bubbles behind Ketra.
I'm just checking to see if we're having lag spikes on the other end or not, because right now we're having my stream's completely frozen on my phone.
Mine keeps
My
doing
eyes are
circles.
super itchy, and I don't know why.
Those are called allergies.
I know I didn't take my Zyrtec
Allergens.
today. Oh, are we making our lineups? And this is where I put the Creed piece. If I had one.
What happened to that, Justin?
Oh, Shane yeeted it across the room and it shattered.
Wow.
Okay, you're acting like I threw it out of spite. I was carrying a bunch of things and he happened to try and fly away.
Yeah, because you tripped and you went, and then he shattered.
Yeah, I tried to put it back together and it just kept getting worse.
Yeah, which was my mistake. I'm never leaving any pieces here ever. I need to bring Ketra home.
I really need to paint him.
Dude, you want to do a painting party? Okay, did they kiss? Or like, what's happening, Michael?
Dorok's in love.
Luke, his husband, right?
I was about to say.
Yeah. I already broke Torok. Look how bad the back of him looks.
So before we get into
This is
it,
super good.
just real quick for those of you that are already in the chat, and if you could pass it along to people as they kind of pop in. From now on, if you type exclamation point and type one of the characters' names as they display right there on the layout,
Try with Ketra.
it will give you a little blurb about their character, so at least their class and stuff like that. Over the next couple days, I'm going to try and get D&D Beyond things made for these as well, so that way when you do hit this, it will pop up with a little link if you want to look at their character sheets. But the 4 of them at the table are done right now, and I got to do the other 3 over the next couple of days and get them to actually do their own shit. So, coming back into it, you guys are currently seated in Blythetopia at the large meeting table. The large draconic creature typically hanging onto Torok has flown through the ceiling, heading towards the base of the Cloud Step Mountains in a long kind of end of a plateau towards the bottom, where you guys believe they're supposed to meet for the upcoming tournament. From there, you guys have discussed and came up with the plan that your goal will be to try and recruit Fennec, who is located within the Petrified Forest in the south, kind of dead center of the desert, kind of southwesternish portion of the desert. If you guys still have the map, it's actually on the map I sent out a while ago. So yeah, you guys are still seated at the table.
So far we've decided that we're gonna go get Fennec. Do we know where Fennec is?
Or we're gonna go try it.
Yes, I knew where Finnick was. I found him. I sensed his presence in the middle of the desert. I told you that, all right.
Fennec was the guy.
I did come in and say that, did I not?
You did.
Okay, good. I did come in and say that.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, so
How far away is Fennec?
3-4 days, I believe it was.
Just enough time.
Correct.
So now I guess the big question is, how do we convince him?
That's a great question. May I pose you another question? If I die, can you make sure all my affairs are in order?
How so?
Oh, it's just make sure that my money was given to my mom and my sister. Oh, that'd be kind of you.
We can do that.
Okay, great.
Why would you die?
Oh, it's because I was being trained to kill Fennec.
Right, but I thought you were super strong.
I am super strong, but he punched a phoenix and it died.
Right.
Okay, but
Like a whole phoenix, Solomon.
does he know you were training to kill him?
Probably.
He killed the Phoenix.
Probably.
I mean, okay, hear me out. If Atticus convinced Griswold to train me, you don't think he's got everyone else in the know-how that he's whispering things to people there's gonna be another big half-orc and he's training to kill you and your dad's gonna make him kill you. That'll make me upset.
But if you show up and don't kill him,
He's gonna kill me first. I feel like that's not what you're grasping. He's going to try to kill me first, and I don't even want to kill him.
Maybe he's a reasonable individual.
right, we don't even know who he is.
Phoenix.
Maybe it made him mad.
Have you ever met a phoenix in your life?
No.
They can be irritating.
Have you met a phoenix?
I've seen one. I don't know why I'm doing a Kedra voice here. Yeah. Hold on, I gotta.
What? Are you making fun of my voice?
Yes.
Are you Star-Lording me, dude?
I just wanted to try it out for a little bit.
How does it feel?
I'm not sure.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Feels like a big boy voice.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm surprised Kedra didn't try mimicking him, like Star-Lord mimiking Thor.
Oh, no, I'm not threatened by him.
You know what? I
stronger than he is.
just need to go Russian. It's where my wheelhouse is. It is the wheelhouse that I can live in.
That's your wheelhouse.
I'm just gonna stay in it.
Bad Russian.
I heard there was a conversation about
This is elemental.
Lip smacking. Lip smacking.
You guys.
well,
So,
What did you just
we are setting out. It's currently nighttime, right?
It's afternoon.
Oh, afternoon.
Oh no, because Kedra stayed out till night, so yeah, it would be nighttime. You guys are having your meeting
Correct.
before dinner.
Do we want to set out first thing in the morning then?
as soon as possible.
Maybe
The desert might be a little hard to.
maybe just some of us should go and the rest should stay here.
I mean, splitting the party is usually something that Queen Blythe doesn't want us to do.
I don't know that Queen Blythe is going to leave her village right now.
Yeah, I don't think she is either.
Not if the Heavenly Seven were found just outside.
Yeah.
Making things easy. I don't know about Jacob. He may go, he may not go.
He's
That's
still on the
that's up for a question. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe it won't.
Yeah, he's still eating food. Well, he's still eating.
He's not sick yet.
He probably would be.
Probably
At least.
barfed and then eat
Yeah,
off.
he'd probably eaten, other stuff from the floor still.
Yeah, alright. Floor dog.
Ugh.
Like a floor hot dog.
Well, we are on a timeline,
Yeah.
so
Well,
whoever's coming needs to come. And we should probably just, start skedaddling.
So are you guys leaving at night?
we leave by nightfall.
It is nightfall.
It presumably is not.
Do you not want to sleep?
Dick right now.
It is not. It's actually pretty chill.
Relax.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Do we not want to sleep before?
Hey, you know what? I'm not really tired right now.
It's about right there.
I think we should travel a little bit. Set up a little camp.
Oh, I can be useful for that.
Are we good?
Oh.
I should get some food to go then.
But rocks.
Yes, but for today's travel, I'm going to want something to give me a little bit of energy. So maybe some rubies. Rubies provide energy.
You should take a look and catch your chest. Or, Ted's chest.
I don't know what kind of gemstone, what kind of rock will provide energy. I need a soda. I need a soda rock.
Is there a complex carb rock?
Quartz, maybe?
Like a
I'm going to go ahead and get some
what is it, geode?
a geode.
A geode is like the equivalent of an energy drink for you.
This is the bang geode.
What is it? The unicorn?
5 hours.
5-hour geode.
I don't like 5-hour geode. It makes my head foggy after I have one because it's me hitting myself in the head with a rock.
You've got to take the sugar-free one.
Yeah, of course, because rocks naturally have sugar in them.
Right, yeah.
Right,
Did
it's
you
part
ever
of
think
it.
about that, Ketcher? Come on.
No, I didn't.
Ketchup, what's your size?
I'm sorry, what?
What's your size?
Excuse me.
That's a personal question.
That's a very personal question. My size of what? Tia.
You. How big are you?
He just wants to know how big you are.
I'm gonna go like my doodle.
No, not your doodle. How tall are you?
Oh yeah, all right. I mean, I'm like 6'8".
Medium. Everybody's medium.
That should work.
Yeah, all right.
I can make a fortress around that.
Flick yeah.
Can you fit a fortress around me?
He's bigger than me.
How?
He is also still counted as a medium
I am
creature.
8.5 feet.
Jesus Christ, that's medium?
He is literally the end of medium.
I am part giant.
Oh. I should be able to work around that.
Because how tall are you, Tyr?
Like 5 foot.
Oh.
That's why he took the little one with him. He said, come along, little one,
That's
I
why I
protect
thought you
you.
were like 14.
You didn't ask. Maybe he is 14.
No, remember he said I'm 30, and it was like super weird.
I don't know. I was,
Yeah,
I was
Made everybody uncomfortable.
I know.
I was like, yikes.
That's when I made D&D Beyond and it was there, and I was like, fuck it, I'll leave it. It also says I have blue hair.
Yeah, but we changed
What
that.
kind of 30-years have blue hair? That's weird.
Yeah,
Oof.
but you're also not 5 foot.
True.
Isn't he
True, I'm
like
not.
6'2"?
Yes.
Oh.
It's all coming together. All right, so I'm gonna.
Why do you know that?
Because you said that like 100 times.
He's actually been in your wallet. And looked at it.
Hey, that motherfucker's creepy as shit.
Soderman,
He
Tia,
wants to watch everybody's location.
let's collect some food. Some water would be great.
Right.
Jacob, do you still have the fountain?
What
Life
happened to
took
the
it.
fountain? I guess it has to go better.
No, it's not better. She's gonna keep it here.
Oh.
It's in the center of town, used as their fountain.
All right. Well, guess what? We're gonna have to like. All right, let's get a whole bunch of water.
But what do we carry it? And we can't have the J words here.
Oh, got it.
You're not even supposed to talk about them. I know you're new to Blytopia, so you're learning.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to offend.
Someone's like, you?
The only part I know.
Yikes. I mean, we could get barrels. I don't really want to carry a barrel with me, but
I mean, I can try to strap a small one to my back. But
okay. Does anyone have a bag of holding? Because then I'll move your stuff into my bag of holding, and then we'll
We
just
all
put a
have
whole bunch
bags of
of
holding.
water in yours.
Don't y'all have bag of holding? Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Do you want to just give me your... Okay, alright, just put... Like, okay, why are you making eye contact? Okay. So we're gonna exchange goods.
Are you putting a bag of holding into another bag of holding?
No, we're just...
Careful.
No, we're filling
Do it!
the
Do
contents
it!
of Tyr's bag of holding into mine.
There's not much in there.
Okay.
Some general adventuring supplies.
Alright, let's just fill
I'm assuming
10
I
days
have my
worth of
sword on
water
my
into
side.
that bag of
So,
holding, baby.
so you know how bags of holding work, right?
Yeah.
You put your hand in it, you think about what you want, and it
Yeah.
just comes to your hand.
Yeah.
Could we put in individual cups of water? So I can pull out just one cup at a
One
time.
nice frosty beverage.
The problem is the water is what's going to come into your hand unless you put it as a cup into the bag of holding.
So let's just do
Can we
that.
put a barrel of water?
It's not big
It's got to
enough.
fit in the opening.
Can we have a skinny barrel? Oh, let's get like bamboo shoots, and then we'll just fill them in the water, and then we'll just blight it.
Where,
we can just- yeah,
where are you? Oh, hold on, I've got a lot of problems with what you said. We're going to blight it.
Yes, we're going to queen blight it. Blythe, can you make us some bamboo shoots, and then we can fill them with water?
There's plants all around. They'll work.
But they bamboo shoots.
Who would say?
There's some hollow plants.
Okay, so let's use the hollowed plants and then just put those muzz in there.
Those muzz.
Stop laughing. I'm from the streets.
Look, they
Voice
pulled
cracks.
Catcher's information. It's the first one that wasn't done by us.
Look at that
Someone
info.
looked at Ketra?
Wow!
You've made a wise decision.
Okay.
It's an okay decision.
Nope, I'm
The second best decision.
Nope, first.
And what shall we do about food?
Well, let's get some rations. Can we make like some makeshift rations out of all the food that's been provided? Like,
You guys could just have rations provided for you.
yeah, let's do that.
I'll go get my
It's
own.
a town that your best friend is the queen of.
Apparently, I'm not a best friend. So.
No, that's fair. Okay. It's the town that your best friend is the queen of.
Allowed in their house.
Turok, it's the town that your best friend is the queen of.
All right, relax.
That's
Not
right.
the best friend.
I'll transition over.
Could we go ahead and get some rations over here for everybody?
so you guys
I need
get-
3 regular rations and 1 rocky ration.
No, I need at least 20 rations, and then what did you want? I'm just kidding. That was a joke. 10 rations for both of us. I'll hold his rations because he's holding the water.
I think I should call the kids rations. Are you going to eat them?
I feel like that's presumptuous and hurtful
I feel
because
like
I'm big.
I feel like
That I'm gonna eat his ration.
it's not because you're big. It's because the party's been picking on the poor kid.
Turok didn't work.
I just wanted to make sure that he could defend himself.
You have to do it without no dumpster.
No,
I
it
don't
should
know
work
what
for both.
All
I have both of them
this
in there.
means.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah, it's fun.
There was a bird in the sky.
We're
There's a
inside.
hole in the roof.
It got stuck in there. What were you saying again? I'm sorry, Ketra.
I'm not gonna eat his food.
Okay, that's good.
I would appreciate it if you did it.
Look, I
Is
only
that echoing here? I'm not eating the food.
I only say it because Ted and Solomon picked on him earlier, and I'm
Ted.
looking out for him.
I'm not Ted or Solo Mans.
I don't know you. I just met you a couple days ago. I'm glad to know that you're not going to pick on people.
Thank you, Torog, for sticking up for me.
You're welcome, dear.
But I do trust you.
Thank you.
I did not mean to insult you, Ketra.
Oh boy. All right.
Are we ready to go?
Do you have all your food?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just put some 2 bags of gravel.
I found some travel
They
snacks.
sherms
This is
gravel on the side.
this is
Guy making this?
this is my trail mix.
Well, laugh at me.
That's gonna be canon now. There's a dude that lives in the town.
Gravel?
Yeah, there's a dude that lives in the town named Sherm, and he's the one that makes all the gravel for the rock people.
Hey, Sherm, gravel me, baby. He's like, you got it, dude. Yeet.
He just goes underground punching rocks. He's not an earth elementally. There's just gonna be a dude that just breaks rocks.
He's a fucking, like, just a coolie from, like Kung Fu Hustle. He's just got, like, a little rice band hat, sleeveless shirt, just punching walls, and he's
These ones were broken down with strong, quick punches. These ones were more forceful and
That makes
deliberate. It gets a little bit of a different taste to
Sherm's
it.
gonna be a monk. I'm making Sherm.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Is that your backup character?
No, I'm not bringing Sherm in.
Sherm has a good business. He
Sherm
doesn't need
has
to
a big
leave.
life.
He has a racket.
He's like, hello, dude.
He has a life.
He has a life.
And a wife.
I don't know.
No, Sherm's married. Yeah, Sherm's married. He's got 2 kids. Sherm Jr. and Shermrita.
He's George Foreman. They're all named Sherm. No, Shermrita isn't a thing. They're all named Sherm.
Can,
He has 8 kids.
can Sherm be the barrel salesman for Valid?
Oh my god,
Yes. He had to relocate his family. When you look at him and he tries to grab things because his hands are so broken from breaking rocks with his hands, he kind of just pushes stuff and scoops it to him. As he's just scooping through his hands. His kids and wife feed him.
Yeah. All the Sherms.
Okay.
Alright, so you guys got food?
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys got water?
Yes.
Anything else you want before you head out into a desert?
I feel like that was a very specific question.
You're going into a desert.
You said you have shelter, correct? Please explain the shelter.
Why is this lagging so bad?
-2.
Are we dropping? Can you kick the TV on real quick,
Is
Jackson?
I can create a 10
I want to see if
foot
we're dropping frames.
mobile dome of force, and it can fit 9 creatures of medium or size or smaller inside of it for 8 hours.
Liam's tiny hut. Okay.
Is there like maybe like a sled of some sort that we can pull behind us?
It's stationary, but I can make it.
No. I'm saying like to carry like the gravel and the water. I mean, I guess you put it in the back
Do
of
we get like an odd kind of like
Skiff?
carriage?
Minis?
I have a flight carpet that can hold 400 pounds.
Oh.
Or is it big enough?
6x4.
So,
Just bring the mouse off the bottom, so it's not.
I mean, it's not on the bottom.
Or
Is that gonna hold the goods?
Oh, that's why we're dropping frames.
Do we need to reset the internet?
Let me make sure I'm not on the Wi-Fi. I was, but I'm off.
That shouldn't be the problem, though. All right.
Yeah, I'm always on the Wi-Fi and it's fine.
Same, but it can help.
I mean, I haven't seen mine lag once.
Well, leave it up for now. Let's just leave it like that. Sorry if you guys had to deal with screen inception there for a few minutes. I'm trying to figure out why we're dropping frames like crazy.
But I would imagine if we have like a tie rope or something, I can just kind of,
Is that like a Taiwanese rope?
I don't know. I'm assuming I can just drag it with us.
Yeah.
Click the red triangle down that bottom. At some point in time, I really need to be able to get access to everything from over here.
That would involve you getting a wireless mouse.
Just close it. Alright, that'll make that go away. If we start seeing it pop up down there again, I might have to take a quick 2-second break on the stream and reconnect the internet. Alright, so you guys have your supplies.
Right.
You guys have a flying carpet now out and ready to go. Is there anything else that you guys want before you journey out of Blythtopia?
Let's how are we getting back? How are we getting to the dragon?
Blake has to teleport us there.
Okay, how does she do that?
With this spell. It's not anything that we can take with us unless Blythe goes with us.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't understand.
So, in order to teleport, you have to have a teleportation circle that's on the ground, or in our case, on the back of she.
Is there a teleportation circle here in the village?
Yes, Blythe has one for Blythtopia.
Would I be able to learn or memorize the inscription, write it down, and take it with me?
You can roll an intelligence check and try. You have to ask Blythe to go see it.
So,
It's in the center of
unfortunately,
town.
we
It's
can't
obvious.
really
It's in- you're fine.
teleport back unless Blythe is
Roll an
with
intelligence
us.
check, see if you can.
And even then, Blythe has to... No, Blythe could, yes, she could draw the teleportation circle to try and teleport us from wherever she's at, but...
So we have to come back.
Natural 20.
Okay, there we go.
Correct.
Yeah, you have
Unless-
a.
So I can teleport us back here whenever we're done.
Unless we can... Oh, you have teleportation? Oh. Well,
Do you have to
there's
do
this...
it for a year?
No, he can make one.
Oh, but I can always teleport
Right.
back to
That's if
He
you
can
want
teleport to this one in the
permanently
town.
There we
as long
go.
as I remember. Let me add that to my...
Good call.
So he has it sketched out in his book, and as long as he has enough space to draw the full circle, it can teleport to Blythtopia.
Cool.
Nice.
Which actually works really well because if Becca's not here, you guys can always at least get back to here.
Yeah. Okay.
So you guys now have a home base.
It's all coming together.
Blythtopia.
See, I may not be that great in
We
fighting,
need to
but
get we need to get the Darkles inside. Oh, there is a Darkles in Blythtopia.
There is. It's ran by Larry.
Larry.
can we go...
How is Larry?
Because
He's upset about the nuptials that never happened.
the nuptials?
Did he say that, or you're just saying that?
I would have said that. It would have been a long going thing for the past 2
I assumed
years.
he told me. That man who ran off on you, Blythe. That's what he says.
That's why you don't love your child.
Oh, I didn't know you were my child.
Sorry.
Hello, child.
But Larry would have been. This would have been a thing that every time Larry's around Blythe, it's like that Jewish mother that constantly brings up their child being left, or both of your lives. Just that side of the table.
What are you saying?
What?
It's people constantly bringing up your failures.
What do you mean you're bringing up my... I'm confused.
You?
Yeah, it's me. I don't know where I was going with it initially. My brain kind of died.
I'm
halfway through.
confused. I was multitasking.
Basically, Larry constantly brings up Ketra leaving Blythe and how Blythe, let such a good man go and everything else like that.
Yeah, she dropped.
Oh,
He does call you a good man.
And how big and strong of a goblin he was.
Yeah.
you're a goblin.
Oh.
I was gonna say that guy. You look a little.
He was a little racist of a goblin. He looked at Green and said goblin.
Oh, okay.
Bing bang.
Oh
boom.
no.
All right.
Let's blow this popsicle stand, as the kids say.
Alright.
Is that everything you need?
Yes.
I think so.
All right. So getting your belongings together, getting situated for the journey out into the Crimson Sands. It's about a 4 to 5 day journey to this petrified forest. Throughout this time, Torok, if you wish, you can attempt to recommune and see if you can try and get a feel for that presence, if it's moving or not.
Alright. I'd like to dig my fingers into the sand.
Roll a
Which day is
or
this?
roll a perception
This,
check. This is you guys just getting ready to leave.
Okay.
He's just trying to get a feel because it's been a few hours.
Wisdom, just check.
Perception.
Oh, perception check. This 9.
You got no idea. You feel some sand.
Without the connection with all my people, it's harder for me to feel where it was coming from. But
But do you have an idea where it was originally?
it was coming from the center over there.
By the world tree, right?
Towards the world.
I don't know enough about your plane to tell you. I can just tell you that it was that way.
Would we know that's the general direction of the world tree?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get to the world tree.
All right.
It's been a while since we've done this.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
The old Solar Man Ketra dynamic duo.
If only we had a boat to destroy.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, we can destroy the hut when we're done with it.
Okay, that's.
I mean, I don't know.
It's not an orphanage.
It's symbolic.
It's not an orphanage, but
Relax,
You don't know about
relax.
that.
Easy. So yeah, let's boogie.
all right. Heading out of the city, you guys eventually start walking into the farmlands. These large, rich trees, fruit trees, citrus, cypress, that kind of sprawl
Take
out and
some
all
of
around.
the fruit with me.
Reaching towards the end, you do, Ketra, remember that it kind of trails off into like this grove, and then eventually this kind of like meadow, and that's kind of where this this city or this building that you found, this dilapidated temple of some sort, was in this almost like grove of thin grass that kind of stretched out into the sand. And as you guys begin walking out, the moon slowly rising, there's a couple of them out there, slowly starting to rise, the starry night taking over the sky. It eventually gets to a very, very dark, very difficult to see anything past your guys' innate dark vision. 'Cause I think the whole party has dark vision.
Yep.
Do I?
Yeah, with your robe.
With my red.
You might be the only one without it.
Ew.
There. Torok.
I can cast light.
Bruh. Oof.
Either way.
Yes, I do not have dark vision.
I'm not the person that just says LOL to everything.
You would think Earth elementals that live underground would have dark vision, but they do not.
You might have tremor sense.
I do not.
You do not. KK, LOL,
I see.
I see.
Bro.
These are all the
Ellipses.
yeah. These are all the like Shane's greatest hits.
Yeah. If you ever wonder what it's like having a chat with me, that's 95% of what it is. I just respond back with I see or ellipses.
Long, big chunk of text. I see.
Or
LOL.
so.
Yeah,
That one.
that's my favorite. That's when I'm trying to ask y'all a fucking question, no one responds.
That was my favorite
no.
when I got to turn the tables
That's when
on you.
instead of asking the question, you just don't ask a question.
And just say so.
Yeah.
It means I'm preparing to ask a question. I want to see who's
Just
there.
ask the question.
Yeah, you guys don't pay attention though. All right. As you begin heading into the desert, the two of you that are familiar with this, roll perception checks.
Just roll the night.
Is it based on
Baby boy?
sight?
It is indeed.
Do I even need to roll this?
Wait, does he get blinded from the light?
No, it's not that bright.
14.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll.
Hey, the new episode dropped on our YouTube.
On his nose.
I didn't roll this high.
Okay, so Solomon, as you're walking, your cloak gives you magical vision, right? Magical dark vision. 120 feet?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So you would see this before everybody else. As you begin walking into the desert, the couple of miles of kind of loose sand from the beaches of the Azura Strait, the blue thing. My brain's not.
Azure.
The violet stretch. That's what it was.
Yikes.
Sorry, I'm working here.
I can't see anything that's invisible.
Yeah, as you begin heading into the violet stretch, the loose sands from the sapphire beaches and everything else like that slowly begin doing the away. These purple sands kind of taking over. You begin noticing tufts of grass kind of popping up, and you see these large root branches that came out of the world tree. These large, what used to be these thick white petrified roots that kind of twisted and rose up out of the sand. You see breaks in it where long branches are sprawled out. These large trees opening up and blooming. Little forests and groves starting to pop up as you guys begin walking.
Guys, am I crazy, or is that part of the tree poking out?
What part of the tree do you see?
Part of the world tree. There's a. You all see that
I'm gonna.
branch and the.
Do trees not usually pop out over here?
No.
No, and the last time we saw the world tree, it was petrified.
Yeah, that looks a little living.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Is the
can we go and investigate then?
Okay.
I'm gonna assist Solo Man with his investigation.
Alright, so you guys walk over to this root bundle. It's kind of pulled up out of the ground. These large branches coming out. It's a pretty decent size, almost like a what are they called? The cow something trees. So let's see. I can't remember what they're called. It's a huge root bundle with these massive branches that hang out in all directions. There's a street in Lakeland named after it. I can't remember what it's called.
It's
Kafer trees.
yeah.
Look it up.
Okay.
But these large branches coming out, it makes this almost circular stretch of branches and vines and trees. You see small animals that are living in the tree as you approach, kind of hide in these branches away. There's ground underneath where it was this very, very dried, arid sand. As you kind of step into it, there's some give and some crunch to it, and it's got a little bit of moisture to it, and there's soil at the roots.
The last time I touched this, it didn't go well.
Yeah, your eyes went all white.
Right, and the thing snuck into.
Your brain.
No, not mine.
Oh, blood.
Blythe's, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna touch it either.
Yeah. I would suggest neither one of y'all touch it until we get a full
Understood.
handle on this.
I will not touch the tree.
I did get a 10 on that investigation, so.
A 10?
With me helping?
Yeah.
Yo, Jackson's back in the ring.
Yeah, boy.
You can see that the once petrified bark of this tree that you had seen before was almost like stone, more like a sculpture than an actual living organism. And most of it is cracked and broken away, and you can actually see that there is this rich kind of almost birchwood-like bark, this almost like those large sheets of like almost skin, like tree branches. As you kind of touch it, it peels away. It can be peeled away if you wanted to grab and pull at it. There's branches that kind of stretch in all directions, and you can see this soft dripping of where an animal has like pierced into it to drink, and this almost like red sap dripping from the branches.
Would I know what that is?
Tree sap.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's the best you can get with a 10.
that's fair. Did Blythe ever say what happened to Adam?
She said he got eliminated. That they purged him from her when she was in the obelisk, right?
Where did he get purged?
I don't know.
Is that-
I don't know if I want to find out.
Yeah. Is there like a rock or something? Oh, I guess we do have a bunch of rocks with it, don't we? I'm gonna throw a rock at it.
Okay. It hits.
Take a snack.
It hits the branch and kind of takes off a little chunk of the bark. You can see a little bit more of that red sap leak out from under it, but that's about it.
Does
Could I roll a nature check to see if I know anything about that?
Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll a nature
I
check.
don't know that I'm good at that. Let's see. Oh, I'm okay.
I can give you
I'm pretty-
guidance.
Guidance?
I'm pretty decent at nature check. Would you rather me do it?
I got a
And
plus
I've
2.
traveled all around the place. You got a what?
Plus 2.
4.
Yeah, you go for it.
Natural 19, so 23 plus.
It seems to be sap. It doesn't seem to be anything as just looking at it. Or are you gonna touch it for your investigation?
Touch it. Touch it.
I don't know if I should
touch it, dude.
No, I'm not
Don't.
gonna touch it.
Touch the trunk, dude.
I'm not gonna. Can I use my sword to kind of?
Just stick it into the tree.
Well, just collect the kind of stuff on it.
Okay.
On the tree. I'm not a tree murderer.
Justin, you should read the chat.
What? I'm not a tree murderer. Oh, thanks.
As you kind of investigate it, the sap kind of as it pulls and kind of drips out of there. Sap is it's sticky and adhesive, and it kind of holds and it draws almost like molasses. This runs a little bit more. It's
Less viscous,
very thin. It does seem to stick a little bit, like it's got some type of adhesive quality to it potentially, but it seems to stick. It's not nearly as adhesive as you would assume sap would be. Yeah.
Does it have any property to it that I noticed? Like any, how do I say this?
Kind of getting it close to you without actually physically touching it, kind of smelling it and really looking over, there's kind of this coppery, irony smell to it. It kind of drips off the blade. It doesn't seem to hold onto the metal very well. I mean, honestly, without touching it, you kind of lose a little bit of it. There's a little bit of a mild sheen to it, and you can see that it kind of begins to darken as it's exposed to the air, getting almost like a darker red and getting a little bit like a crust to it.
Crusty.
This sap doesn't typically appear like a normal tree sap would. It's more like blood.
Blood.
Yeah, it kind of just it runs. It's
Is the world tree bleeding?
Is it her?
Possibly. I mean, you guys, was the world tree petrified before? That's
Yeah.
what they knew it as. It was originally petrified, and now it seems like pieces of it is coming to life, or at least this piece is alive for some reason.
Right.
Do you guys know anything about that? With this, Torok, this is around.
We killed a god king.
That is true, but
And that
You guys killed a what?
yeah, so you know how there's 12 major cities
Yeah.
throughout the desert?
No.
Well, there is.
Okay. Rock, you know how this is a thing? No, I do not.
You see, I don't want to burst your bubble there, buddy, but Blythtopia is a very
Small.
Perfect
New.
society.
new.
that new.
There's 12 cities throughout the desert that are beyond ancient. That were all,
You guys
and more than likely still are, ruled by god kings.
killed one of their god kings.
Yeah. Which, I don't know how they never found out that it was
Who
us.
exactly are you?
Don't worry about that.
If you need one.
That may be something we need to put a pin in, Ketra.
I'm sorry, what?
Did we really get away with just killing a god king?
I don't think so, but it's been quiet right now
Yeah.
for 2 years, so maybe maybe it's cool.
But I haven't heard anything.
Could you-
Remember when Tobias
You didn't
told
travel in this
Sam-
area.
Oh, yeah.
You would have went down the tier mounts, which is this mountain chain to the west.
I thought I stole.
We talked about
Yeah,
Matt,
you wouldn't
maybe-
have. You would have come
hand.
through the desert. You would have came another way.
You stole someone's hand.
Yeah, I stole the hand of the.
He's from the tier mounts.
Okay.
The guy. He's my friend.
What?
So what is a
Who's your
god
friend?
king? Remember I stole the leader of the town's hand
So,
and made him my friend?
they're
Right.
they're the sovereign leaders of all the, I'm just gonna call them city-states, quite frankly.
So they're not really gods. They just think of themselves as gods.
Try asking the townspeople that, though.
So, outside of Blythtopia, any kind of worship of a god is forbidden. The kings there are like gods, and they are worshipped as such, but they are not holy deities. I did fight one, and did kill one. It was this kind of rare animal beast that turned into a giant porcupine.
Blew a giant thunder wave in his ass.
I'm sorry? And we?
Blew a giant thunder wave in his ass.
You did.
So the god kings, like, How many people worship them?
All of them.
A lot.
Because where I'm from, there's titans who call themselves gods, and because enough elementals worship them, they do get godlike strength, but it takes millions and millions of people worshiping them to give them that strength.
I don't know that it's quite the same concept. It's just
could be.
it's the well, as far as I understand it, it's just the illusion that they are all powerful, all etc. But that being said,
I would just like you all to know that this is the first time Michael has actually heard about what a God King is. Just so you're all aware, I have not known.
It wasn't put in until now.
I'm excited for the story I'm
it
learning.
was supposed to be the entire plot, but
Ooh.
I panicked during a Shane campaign.
What?
Panic!
so
You guys panic reacted to something I did? What?
No, it was something you were gonna do, and it still happened.
Yeah.
so
Fucking still killed Griswold.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we killed the one, and it as you can see, the world tree is no longer petrified. I don't want to say correlation is causation, but that didn't happen until we killed him.
How are you sure that when you killed him, the tree unpetrified?
So, when we killed the God King, he dropped the porcupine. Loot, if you will.
I'm sorry. He dropped an animal?
Yeah,
A baby.
The porcupine, formerly known as Reggie.
Oh,
Oh, that's who Ted's talking about.
So a
He
porcupine.
adopted the God King's pet.
Or did the God King turn into a porcupine?
I'm assuming the porcupine was the God King's inferior form.
yeah. No, that's a good point.
So
Was it like a miniature porcupine? Because where I come from, porcupines are like giant 10-foot creatures that shoot rock quills at you.
Oh, yay big.
That's similar.
Monster
to what we
created.
thought, though.
It fit in Ted's cavity.
Oh, little
You
porcupine.
guys put things inside of Ted.
Yeah.
No, Ted put things inside himself.
Ted likes to stuff himself.
Oh god.
These people.
Fan art. Get it going.
Oh no.
Tear these.
Survive.
Tear. I whispered. Tear. These people seem weird. Be careful.
So, long story short, right? So long story short, we're investigating the world tree. The porcupine just happens to be drawn into it, unbeknownst to us.
Leave the word for absorb.
Right.
Sacrificed and
Oh, look at Michael writing down some notes.
No. It was
I
absorbed.
lived this. What are you talking about, man?
It was absorbed.
Yeah, it was absorbed.
Ted was
It
very
wasn't
angry.
deabsorbed.
was it adsorbed or absorbed?
Absorbed.
Absorbed. And that's when the petrification started reversing. So,
Yay! But also like, oh.
but I don't assume one little measly offering would cause this much life in the world tree. Considering my only assumption is that you needed all 12.
How many branches of
What if more died?
world tree are there?
What if
Branches?
Seven started like picking them off.
Thousands.
I mean, I'm sure it's possible.
Thousands. They go everywhere.
I said there were like 12.
Would there have been any rumblings in the past 2 years of any other God Kings dying?
Not that you would have heard of. Not on the other continent.
I mean, we could check when we get to the world tree. We can see how healthy it is.
You're not going that far.
Alright.
halfway to the world.
So,
Let's see if while you guys discuss, I'll see if I can find the map on my
I
phone.
mean, morbid curiosity is leading me to touch it again. I mean,
you said you're stronger than like.
Yeah,
last
no,
time,
When you
right?
guys touched the world tree the last time, was it petrified or was it?
It was petrified.
Like this?
So maybe the strange creature that attached to Blythe was because it was a dead tree.
maybe.
Maybe.
And who knows? Maybe with Adam being purged, outside of and being away from the world tree, maybe Adam was causing some of the petrification as well. Who knows?
Possible.
Could I try reaching into the earth next to the one of the roots, like see if I can feel the energy of the tree coming through the ground at all?
Yeah, you can try. Roll a investigation. We'll go with for that.
Like, oh, natural 20.
digging your hands into the sands around the tree, this kind of soil that's beginning to form as the tree.
Like the hum a tune as I do it.
I'm gonna play a song for him.
I sing songs as I Look, I know we've decided it's all ugly, but I like to pretend it's pretty. At least it sounds pretty to
It sounds
me.
pretty to you.
You kind of plunge your hands into it. You begin feeling through the sand, and as you do, you get this very ominous kind of feeling. This more than just a living being is reaching out, like the tree would be at that size, let alone just being a tree of that size. What the world tree represents is the connection to the other planes. It's literally a tree. The roots of it go into the other planes of existence. This tree connects all of them. It's what binds the existence together.
So is this something I would know of then?
You would have seen
Would it
roots
be
on
called
occasion.
other things?
It would be called other things.
Okay.
In certain planes, it's called the Yggdrasil tree, stuff like that. It's the tree that reaches into all the planes.
Okay then.
I feel like you know something.
Yeah.
So you would have,
Yggdrasil tree is like a very big mythological tree.
it's a huge thing. So this tree you would know it kind of connects all the planes. It almost holds the fabric of the planar disc together.
What the planar what?
The planar disc.
Interesting.
The disc.
Discs are flat.
Yeah, flat.
I fucking hate you.
Go ahead, flat world it, Jackson. Go for it, buddy. But as you,
Planes are a flat world though, aren't they?
yes, there.
We are in flat world.
Therefore, the superior forms of life.
The world is flat. Sorry, go ahead.
I hate you all.
It's okay, I have some too.
As you kind of reach into this, you get this almost ominous feeling, like something more than just this massive life of this tree is there. And as you kind of reach out, you feel something kind of reaching back. Do you want to keep pushing it or no?
But you said it was ominous feeling?
It does have a very ominous feel to it.
What's wrong, Tara?
There's something reaching back. I don't know if I should.
Well, I do have the most experience with touching the world tree and conversating with it.
Should I stay or should I go?
I'm gonna play the thing.
Should I stay or should I?
I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna hold on and feel what's coming.
Roll wisdom save.
Oh God.
Which one?
Wisdom save. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Do I get the bonus?
Yep, he's within 10 feet of you.
What is?
Wait, what?
So
That's charisma.
they're both paladins. Paladins have an ability when they hit level
Oh, it's a
6
charisma save?
that they get
No,
to
no.
add their
save. We get-
charisma to
really?
any saves to anybody within 10 feet of them.
Okay.
It's going to make it very difficult for me to do things to your party because between the two of them, everybody gets +6 to all their saves.
Well, I can also play a song. And
That tells me you're
so
plus
that
2
everybody
charisma
has
then.
Plus 3.
on their save.
Oh, plus they get +7 to all saves. I'm
Plus
+4.
7.
He's +3.
Yeah.
Okay, so +3 more.
All saves.
Everybody, because I give out +4 for my Christmas. You go +3 for your.
Got it.
Okay, so my wisdom save is 29.
He's fine.
29.
29. Natural
For a
19
wisdom save?
+7 +3.
Can I just touch the world tree and let it happen?
No saves.
So you feel this kind of creeping, and as you kind of let it, or kind of resist and kind of endure what's going on, when you go to pull your hand from the sand, you see like little soft roots have wrapped around your finger, like something was trying to grab onto you. And as you kind of pull your hand, they snap at the ends and kind of
Not
like
so fast, Jafar.
It seems the tree was trying to pull me into it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's something that happened to you, right, Solomon?
It's against being
This. Do you all know a lot about the world tree?
We haven't really researched a lot about the world tree, I'll admit.
I think it's very similar to the tree in the earth plane called the Yggdrasil tree. We have a very similar tree, and to my understanding, it connects the planes together. At least, I presume they connected the elemental planes together, but it seems to reach into material plane as well.
Oh. Well.
Did anything talk to you?
oh, yeah, that's what
I
you said.
didn't really let
You're
it,
just gonna grab on.
Yeah.
but I felt it. I felt it trying to. The tree wrapped around my fingers.
Alright, well. I'm thinking I can make it out of this one.
Are you sure? Solomon, I don't know if I can bring your sanity back.
I don't know if I have any good
I don't know
spells
that I
prepared.
quite lost my sanity last time.
So
In that particular event, there are a lot of things that compounded over time. Okay.
Okay. See, you're doing it again.
We're in a different place.
I can restore minor problems, not anything major.
I'm just curious. So
Okay.
Just be careful.
I'm grabbing it.
Alright. You just gonna let whatever happens?
Yeah.
Are you gonna grab the root, or are you grabbing, like, putting your hand in the soil?
No, I'm gonna grab the root.
Okay.
You're not gonna.
So, as you guys watch, Solomon walks up and he just places his hand on the root of the tree. And Solomon, you sit for a moment. And you begin hearing this kind of ringing in your ears that just continues to get louder and louder. It eventually deafens out everything else. It's almost like this bell just chiming as loud as it can in your ear. And as it eventually goes so loud, this high-pitched noise almost pierces everything away, it just stops. And you're kind of wincing and you look around and you don't see anything, and all your friends are just standing there, but they're stopped. Everything is just frozen as your hand's on this tree.
Am I able to send a message?
Mm-hmm.
Can I point and can I get it to all of them?
You can try.
To tell them, I think time's frozen. I don't know what happened.
You don't get a response. And as you sit there for a minute, you hear, Solomon, is that you?
And who might this be?
Oh, it has been a long time. 2 years, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember our last talk?
Is that you, Adam?
It is.
Okay.
I've
Well,
seen more.
That's good. Yeah, I know what you did to Blythe, and we're gonna lay some ground rules here. You're not sneaking in my head.
With the awakening of the tree, I see more of the world.
Okay, so you don't need us now.
The branches are opening, giving me visions. I can see the other planes. I see what you claim as gods.
Mm-hmm. What's going on in the other planes?
I only see small places. I see fires that burn, rocks that move, giant creatures in the sea.
You don't see the resemblance of armies forming.
What is an army?
By chance, big groups of people, they fight things and burn.
Is there conflict coming?
I think so.
This world and this plane continues nothing but bloodshed and violence.
Yeah, we're good with that.
I'm concerned about the longevity of the world.
Well, we are too. Kind of why we're here, kind of headed in this direction.
But if the world continues to fight, will it not be destroyed?
I suppose it depends on the amount of fighting.
It seems that the material plane does nothing but breed this chaos, this violence and destruction. A constant war for the souls that are kept there, violence for the lands.
Yes,
I see it all.
We're working on the soul thing. We're trying to put a stop to that.
You've changed.
I have. Thank you for noticing.
Do you still believe in those that claim to be gods?
Yes.
Do you not remember our last talk about the faultiness of that faith?
Well, the god I was after at the time did prove to be false, or at least not present.
Aren't they all?
Not necessarily.
You should worship me.
I mean,
We can talk, can we not?
we're talking right now, yes, but
Have you spoken to the god that you worship?
not personally, no.
Then haven't I proved my existence more than him?
I mean, I just see you as a friend.
Friend zoning it.
Nope, see friend zoning. Oh my god.
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 It is a choice for you to make. It has been fun to talk, Solomon.
Okay, but say I were to worship you.
Oh god.
What does that entail? I feel like you're gonna have to, look through me.
Provide me with information of the world that I cannot see.
That's okay.
We'll talk again.
No.
A little mystery's good in life.
We will talk again.
Okay.
As it fades, your friends begin to move again.
What do we see?
With a stick.
As you guys come through,
does this like stop it all for us, or it just is quick?
but as you guys are kind of looking at Solomon, kind of looking to each other, talking as he kind of sits still for about a minute or so. When you look back, the branches have grown all the way up his arm,
I would like to yank him off the tree.
and that is when your conversation stops.
You need to be done.
As he pulls you off, the conversation jogs back.
What was that?
So, Adam's still in there.
Who is Adam?
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Is he still like false gods, false prophets?
You know it.
Oh,
You
boy.
know it.
Is Adam a friend of yours?
Good.
That's what I told him.
Do we like
Does
do we
what
want to get Adam
what
to help
false
us?
gods is he talking about?
All of them.
He thinks all gods are false.
Yes. He's the son of Shar? Salem? Ao's, what was it? Ao's grandson or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't no AO.
So, Ao
Ew.
This party's really religious.
created everything, right?
Oh no.
Alpha, Omega. It's a real
Right.
cheap
Over
knockoff
here,
to
like
some other.
You're a heathen.
The gods abandoned me.
Yeah. So
Your god.
first original being whatever, really important. Adam is his grandson, and
And
so
he doesn't believe in the gods, but he's the
You
grandson.
guys' religion is pretty deep, huh?
oh yeah, it's a whole thing. I have a flow chart.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. What was the question, Torek? I'm sorry.
If he is the grandson of Ao, why would he not believe in the gods?
Because he came before all those. That
Does he not feel the gods? As a god himself, would he not feel all of
I
them?
don't even know that he thinks that he's a god. I know he likes being worshipped. He asked.
Is he worth worshipping?
He does this thing in here, and he's all. It's a lot of
Then I don't want that.
mystical
No,
happenings. It just, it's not very enjoyable.
no, never mind. I don't want that god.
And he's
But like gods aren't real, right?
Well, do you think that this tree is going to provide us any answers at this point? Because if not, we should keep going before the sun rises and it becomes too hot for you all to travel.
the answers to the current situation. I don't think so, but we might want to put a pin in it.
That's what happened last time.
Well, he's really concerned about the material plane.
I need to make a pin sheet.
You should.
Well, it seems like we should ask him for some help if he wants to be on.
No, because for as much concern as he makes it sound like he has for material plane, I think he wants it to be destroyed as much as he's saying we're doing it ourselves.
Yeah, I think if him and the Heavenly Seven join forces because they want to do the same thing. Oof.
Correct.
Big oof.
Correct. So yeah, it's probably just a good idea that we keep moving.
Okay.
Keep an eye on that. Torak, you're making a pin sheet, a Pinterest board.
Dora pulls out the little.
Oh my
You know,
god!
and I
Can we
imagine-
please call it that?
The Pinterest board.
It's a Pinterest.
A Pinterest, yes. Tori pulls out this little spell book, and it is, especially in his hand, but it is the tiniest little spell book he has, and he delicately thumbs through the papers to the very end. Says, Adam, the God Hater, God 3. Good.
Got it?
Put it back into my little satchel.
That's his Pinterest.
The Pinterest has been recorded.
What are you doing over there?
Nothing.
Digging.
Wow.
It's just the soft percussion of your hands banging around a drawer.
So we should go ahead and get heading back towards this petrified forest. What is it called? The petrified.
It's just a petrified forest. It doesn't have a name. It's an abandoned piece of land.
Okay, let's keep moving.
So, Catcher, you would notice this a lot more as you guys begin heading deeper and deeper into the jungle. It's not, or deeper and deeper into the desert. It's not a desert anymore. There's large rolling meadows. You see trees that have grown up. There's certain areas that lakes have started to form.
I am uncomfortable.
It was started out as a desert, though.
Yes, this is a pure desert. There was nothing here. You've never seen it anything other than this.
So but there was a desert before, and now it's.
You've only ever seen it like this because you've only been here for like 6 months in this plane of existence. So when you came into the plane of existence and you've left the village, the Blytopia, to head a little north here and there, it's always been this rolling meadows.
Oh, okay.
For them, it was a massive desert of nothing.
Catcher are very
We are
uncomfortable.
finally out of that desert. Jesus.
What?
Yeah. So to the two of them,
No.
they're like, oh yeah, we walked through the Violet Stretch, was the only part of the desert that's left, and now you're out of desert. Like right now, you guys are in like this soft meadow, thick rolling hills and grass.
What?
It's gonna be so much easier now.
I mean, it's still strange to me. Why does your climate not just stay one climate forever?
Season.
I don't understand this.
The Earth elemental plane's not like Florida. You get like one day with a little bit of a climate change, and then it goes right back
That's
to
it.
80s.
It's just one thing.
That doesn't seem fun.
It's hot. It's wonderful.
When,
You would have liked this before all this green stuff. It was very hot here.
I would have appreciated that.
The ground was actually ruby quartz, so it's like a buffet.
What does ruby quartz? Is it good?
I've never eaten it. Can I like kind of dig to see if I can pull some up?
Yeah, you dig down and you get down to like this. It's like this dark kind of red soil, almost kind of like clay.
Yeah.
And as you kind of pull it up, and you do see a little bit of shine and glint in there, some of the quartz that comes through.
How does it taste?
Gross.
This is not good.
So, Torok, because you have a refined palate in this type of stuff,
Wine palette.
you're gonna not like me very much. But this is excrement. These are from the massive purple worms that live underneath, and you would know that from being in the Earth elemental plane where these worms originally come from.
Ketra, I know you're not a big fan, but that's shit.
Alright, first language.
excuse me?
You can use other words.
That is literal excrement of a worm.
Wait, what kind of
You
word?
just ate shit.
Relax.
A large underground worm, likely. Give it here. Purple worm.
No, pass.
It
Wait,
tasted it
purple. Do I
twice.
know what purple?
Yeah, you have seen the purple
We were
worms
running
before.
from one of those, weren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're huge.
Yeah.
But that's what makes you would know living in the desert. That's what makes the Crimson Sands is there's these massive quartz stones that are underground. As the purple worms dig through them, it releases this red quartz into the ground,
Yeah.
which makes it that red color.
Great.
So that's why.
So
there's
why
grasses
is it
here, is because it's greatly
this now?
fertilized.
But it's different now.
It's it looks like life is coming back to this area. It's starting to grow.
Isn't that a good thing?
Not entirely.
Well, at least it's not a billion degrees.
Alright.
Oh no, it's still hot.
Oh.
It's still uncomfortably hot.
Is
And
it
it's-
daytime already?
No, it's still night. It's uncomfortably hot even at night. Like it's not
Does it?
as bad, but it's
You all have been here before. Does the change? You seem perplexed, but does it seem like the change is affecting the ecosystem and the wildlife here?
Yes, because
Yeah.
there's an ecosystem and wildlife here.
But there was one before.
It
That-
was
that
very
was-
underground and
But that was also a very long time ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, ever since I've been in this area, it's
No,
just
but
been like this.
I mean, the last time that there was life here, though, that was
a few thousand years ago.
right.
Yeah,
But there
like
would
this,
there wouldn't
but
have been adapted
There's still
life there.
eco, yeah.
There still would have been.
Yeah, there's still adaptive life in the desert. I mean,
It just might be.
Bearded dragons and shit.
Right.
It's just it's a different. It's a different ecosystem.
Different. Do we see like desert-like creatures like the
occasionally you guys see like coyotes out in the distance. You see some of these like large beetles and stuff like that. But what you would expect to see in more of a desert climate, you're not seeing a lot of those animals. And the ones that you do see aren't doing well. Like where you do see animals that are much more prone to like camels and stuff like that, which are much more prone to holding large reserves of water. they don't seem to be doing great because there's more Redel resources, so they're starting to get overly hunted by other creatures that are beginning to come in. Ketra, this would make you almost feel uneasy being in the desert for so long. You see wolves on occasion moving through the desert.
Firewolves?
No, they're just like big freaking wolves.
Is anyone in your group of nature magic like a druid?
No. Ted.
Not currently.
Ted is.
Well, I mean, I guess we need Ted. Perhaps we could send some of my clan out here to investigate and study. I do have some druids.
Yeah.
Maybe they could figure some stuff out while we're gone.
Yeah, smart. Yeah. Let's
Can
do
you
that.
reach out to them from here?
I don't want to touch it. I would have some druids, I assume.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's druid sorcerers. It's a
I figured
relatively
we
eclectic
have,
group.
Yeah.
Predominantly, it would be more druidic kind of elemental magic.
Eclectic.
Man, that one doesn't get
Go in, baby.
that one doesn't get hit as often.
Damn it.
There's nothing.
I was gonna say eclectic does not get hit often enough.
No.
And it should.
Whose fault is that?
Mine.
I really want to
You
get
guys
Shane a word of the day calendar. Like, I think he needs one at this point. We make so many jokes that we should get him one and see how it goes.
There's a problem with it.
We'll have to read the words out
I'm
loud to you
gonna need somebody to
first.
sound it out for me. Julia could do it.
It's eclectic, Dad.
Julia could probably sound out the words for me. So you guys are going to continue on, I assume.
Yes.
All right. You do see. Yes.
Okay.
You do see kind of these occasional animals, stuff like that, that are kind of scattered throughout. For the most part, nothing seems to be bothering you. It seems more very wildlife-ish. The kind of occasionally something will approach with a little bit of interest, and then once you guys kind of move through or get close to it, it scatters off into it. Nothing seems to be too predatory, hunting you or anything. Would you guys continue moving through the desert?
Do we plan on making camp before?
Before it gets too late.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably find a safe space to sit down and rest.
At this point, I mean, it's getting pretty late at this point.
Yeah, it's starting to get towards early morning. And you see the sun just starting to crest over the hills.
Let's try to rest up a little bit.
Okay.
Keep going.
Do we want to
I don't know
rest
why
right
we
where we are
brought
here,
food and
or
water.
find? Are there trees or anything around?
You alright there, bud?
I don't think anybody has that spells.
What?
Can't we make food and water? Like, we literally pack food and water.
I can't.
How are you gonna make food and water?
Paladins, what level is that at?
It's
They're-
purify food.
Purify. They don't have create. Druids have.
Never mind, scratch what I'm saying.
Create.
Ignore me.
Do we?
Eventually, Ted can get like heroic feast.
Is this just a meadow, or is this like a kind of trees and stuff?
It's kind of like a rolling meadow. You do see another one of the large root bundles kind of break through with this kind of canopy of trees that hang out with some vines hanging loosely off of it.
One of the world tree bundles. I don't want to get close to that. So okay, I can take care of the shelter if you guys just want to make up camp here, or I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I think this
I
is
don't see
good.
why not.
okay, I can.
Please,
I can
here,
ritual cast this.
take it away.
Okay,
I believe it's a ritual spell.
so I'm going to focus in for a moment. Oh, that's the wrong spell.
For 10 minutes.
Yeah, focus in for a little while.
So
Does it cast over us?
yeah,
they can. They can. That's fine. So for the 10 minutes as you're casting your spell, I need the other three of you to roll perception checks.
Based on sight.
Yes. Sight and hearing. But manifest anybody else.
17.
You need new dice. If anybody in the chat would like to donate to get Jackson some more dice, he only has 15 sets and they're all trash.
Only 15. All of them suck.
Speaking of 15, that's what I rolled.
Wow.
8.
Wow, man.
So would you get 17 and 15, Ketra? Yeah. So as you guys are sitting, Solomon, you're kind of taking off, getting situated to be able to sleep. You two hear this loud bird cry in the distance. And as you do, you see this massive shadow kind of fly past you guys in the morning sun.
Hey, we should grab a pair of those feathers. Let's just do it right now.
Are they rocks?
You just see this massive shadow for a moment as it passes overhead.
Okay, cool.
What was that?
I got a very big bird.
You don't know what a big bird is.
No!
Oh. Okay. Gotta continue to watch this guy.
As you're kind of watching this guy, you see there's probably like 3 or 4 birds circling something above you. Really can't get a solid feel of how far away they are, but they're pretty high up.
Above us?
Yeah. But it's just probably like 3 eagles, it looks like.
Okay.
Your understanding of animals.
How
it looks
big are
like
the
just-
eagles?
From his vision, like this big?
I see flying animals up there.
Good. I'd like to, with my 15, can I figure what they are?
You can roll a nature check.
Alright. Yo, catch a nature check.
I'll give him guidance.
Are you looking around too now?
At this point, yes, they seem concerned.
Do you want to help me? With the guidance too? Give me advantage.
Yeah.
Streets. Double 12s. Plus 2. 14. And nature is plus 2, so 16.
They look like just eagles from where you're sitting. They don't seem to be... They're far, but you really can't get a feel for how big they are just because of how high up they are. And the open sky of absolute nothingness in this desert climate makes it very difficult to compare them to the size of anything else.
Put my thumb up.
When you put your thumb, you do completely block one of them out. It's not exactly the most reliable way of telling how big something is. But you do have these like just 3 small eagle shadows kind of circling the group.
So there's birds circling us
Birds
overhead.
Right.
Yeah. Are these eagles or vultures?
They look like eagles from what Ketcher can, or from what Cat.
And once the hut comes up, it'll be open. It's translucent from the inside, though.
So what are you guys doing?
Try not to have
Watching the birds while he's making the hut.
I feel like we need to keep an eye on them.
I am constantly keeping
yes.
an eye on them.
My eyes have not left any of that, or I will say, nobody's saying that Ketter's watching them. I'm going to continue to look up, but I'm going to also watch around.
Okay.
I'm gonna just keep my eyes glued. Does it look like they're coming toward?
They're flying overhead. They're doing
They're flying
circles.
overhead
Yeah,
us.
directly above you guys. You don't know how high up they are, but they're flying circles around you guys.
You know, this didn't happen when the world tree was still dead.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, Solomon, you would be able to recognize what these are.
Oh.
Rocks do nest in the Tiermount Mountains. Rocks.
Oh, it's a rock.
It is
Like
a rock.
the
ROC.
yeah. It's an ancient bird.
Giant fucking eagles.
They're very aggressive.
They're bred by giants to fight dragons. Or they were bred by giants to fight dragons.
What
Yeah.
are their wingspans like?
120 feet?
Yeah.
Hey,
They're intelligent though, right?
No, I don't believe so.
I thought they were.
brain blast, guys.
Thanks, Jimmy
Yeah.
Neutron.
Those are rocks.
Those are not rocks.
Not your kind of rocks. Yeah, big giant birds.
No, they have intelligence score 3. They're dumb as shit. They're beasts.
They're bred to fight dragons.
I would probably then know what rocks are too, would I not?
They were bred on the material plane by
material plane,
giants
okay,
to fight during the Dragon Wars.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So in the continuing theme
Good thing I
of
had
really
these giant-
old stuff wanting to kill us.
Oh, no, they're gargantuan. Those aren't big enough.
Yeah. Hey,
No, those not.
Tyr.
Those are only huge.
16.
How's that hut going, buddy?
How far am I into the hut?
Yeah, gargantuan 16 squares. I want to say the tablet is almost the size of a gargantuan creature.
No, thank you.
Anyway,
How far am I into creating the hut?
Probably about 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Hey.
Henry's arcing off.
Remember that
Yeah.
time our DM told us
None
we
of
needed
it's
a pair of mating rock
solidifying
feathers,
yet.
and then got mad at us for not pursuing it?
No.
I do.
Your DM got mad at you because Becca pushed a bunch of people out of basically a rail station while a bunch of birds, including a child, while 2 giant rocks were eating people.
Her best friend needed his voice.
So you three are watching the rocks as they fly overhead. Solomon, roll me a perception check.
Drunk and call my best friend once.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, you can tell you that.
That's right. He did repeat that all the time. Remember when Finn got drunk and said Tristan was his best friend?
21. So
21.
as you guys are watching these rocks and you're trying to keep an eye out with your cloak that allows you to see basically 360 degrees.
Correct.
The other two are watching these birds as they're flying overhead. Tyr is in the process of casting this spell.
So I love it.
You see the ground kind of swell for a moment
Where?
around you guys and then dip back down.
Purple worm too. We gotta worry about purple worms and rocks.
Hey, did y'all
Fucking asshole.
It seems like the world
And then we
is...
gotta deal with Bennett too.
2 minutes, let me get this going.
Did y'all see the?
It seems like the desert's waking up.
Yeah, I don't like that. What? This is.
Do we beat feet?
Sometimes wrestling purple worms is a good fun.
How does the hut work if we're inside it?
It's opaque from the outside and translucent from the inside, and
Is it impenetrable?
Is it like a circle underneath too?
Is it a dome or is it a circle?
You know it's a dome.
Are we in the sphere or a hemisphere?
Ketra, as Solomon pointed out, you see the ground around you guys kind of rise up.
any creatures barred from passing
Bless you.
through
Bless you.
that I don't know.
I see.
Alright.
Spells and magical
It kind of
effects can't be
rises
through it
and then
and
dips
from
back
the
down.
inside.
Okay.
So basically, if we're inside it, we're.
I'd like to pull out the shield and the hammer.
It doesn't say that it can be broken at all, but I'm sure Shane has.
I think we need to
They can't.
beateth the feedeth. I don't think this is a safe spot.
so,
Unless a creature can dispel magic.
Yeah, the hut can't be broken unless the creature can dispel my magic.
Okay.
I'm gonna give everybody resistance.
So if
Thank you. I'm
hold
gonna
it off for a few minutes.
I'm gonna give 2 points though. So
gonna get my
it can't go under us, right?
No.
Okay. It can wait for us
Wait,
for it to
can
go down.
Does the dome go under? Yeah.
It's a circle.
Okay, so yes.
It can wait until it's down and then we get eaten.
I mean, it can also eat us down.
I don't know if this is a safe spot.
Oh,
Between
what,
the
you guys in
rocks
safe
and
spaces
the-
now?
And the purple worm. Do you think the rocks are trying to eat the worm? Or we're the worms?
Yes.
The purple worm is a giant worm, correct?
Yeah.
And the rock is a giant bird, correct?
Yeah. It's pretty early.
Oh no!
You guys are idiots.
We gotta go.
This could just
We
be
gotta go.
This could just be a metaphor, and we're in the crosshairs.
Let's get out of the crosshairs, mate.
I mean, I can cast the spell now and just.
You guys are motherfuckers.
You did this.
I didn't think about it.
By the way.
It's a reoccurring problem in which I do something and I don't realize how it plays out until you guys say it.
Of course. The early bird always catches the bird.
But which one is the early bird?
I don't know. Whichever one's gonna start diving out. Okay. Maybe throw it up.
If we start running, though, wouldn't that make us more noticeable?
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna get noticed regardless, mate. Okay. So
How long do I have?
we-
I feel like you should take out
2
your
minutes.
weapons.
As he said that, you see Torog take a shield off his back and pick up his hammer as he's looking up at the birds.
I'm gonna. Okay, you look up. I'll look down.
Alright, just give me 2 minutes and I'll put it up. If they start to dive, I'll put it up instantly.
As he's in the process of casting the spell, the ground kind of begins to quake as this massive worm's head digs out and kind of sits before you as it stops. Probably a good 10 to 15 feet away. This large maw opening.
Good evening.
Greetings.
Oh, there's the
What
rock.
does Bert call his albino grappling?
What?
Oh!
That's all I see right now.
Was it Blanco? Or El
Yes,
Blanco?
El Blanco. Hello there, El Blanco.
That's a purple worm, by the way.
Of course it is.
Do you want the purple worm piece?
No.
Okay, good.
So,
I'm gonna get them.
as this thing breaks out of the sand, these pieces of rock and debris falling off of it, large pieces of quartz as it kind of falls from inside the scales. This massive maw begins to open as the birds begin to slowly approach and drop and begin landing around you guys.
Alright, I'm gonna.
Okay,
Do I still have time to cast on it?
you can
or-
cast it.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast
If you just want to cast it as a spell.
Yep,
If you want a ritual cast it, you still got another 2 minutes.
I'm gonna put it up.
Alright, so he casts the spell.
Alright, enough with this. I'm just gonna put it up.
Is the worm inside?
Mark the energy.
Okay.
He's like 30 feet out.
Okay.
As he just surfaces, as the three rocks just and land around you guys.
It's the circle of life.
Well, this is very awkward. Oh, what's that? Tear, yeah, no, I'm going right in, bud. And I'm gonna go
Yeah,
into
no,
the...
it casts around you guys.
Yeah, he casts around him.
Ooh-wee. But we can see outside.
Uh-huh.
Look. What are they doing?
Just sitting.
Menacing me.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why aren't they eating each other?
Can I open a window?
There's no windows. You can go outside.
You can see through it though.
Don't go
Yeah, you can see through it.
You three can pass through as you willingly need, in and out of the hut.
So can I just
so
like
long as I'm
poke my
We have
head
8
out?
hours, right?
Yep.
Well,
I want to poke my head out.
I definitely want to watch the circle of life take place out here.
I'm gonna go to bed so I don't get exhausted.
Hello?
Excuse me?
They're just sitting there.
Is anybody hurt in the party?
Aggressively.
Hurt in the
Do they understand what I was saying?
They're huge, so when you say something, the bird's eyes immediately and look at you. If you have your head out.
These creatures seem to be acting strange.
Strange how? As I drew?
They're not eating the purple worm, they're all just
All three of them.
congregating.
All four of them
4 of them.
are just
sitting
looking at
there.
us.
Is there anyone on the Rocksbox?
Not that you can see.
We will.
Idle hands are the devil's blade.
They are. You ain't going with your piece.
I was just about to say, isn't that like a thing for masturbation?
Yes.
I'm gonna fight this purple worm.
Do they look like they understood what I said though?
They looked at you. You can't really tell if they understand you.
Poke my head back out.
Put my shit.
None
I
of them
also
are
have a
intelligent,
shield.
though, right?
It's been a while since I've used it.
How are you?
Fucking you big ass bird.
There is no response. So, as you guys sit there,
Could I try saying something in giant to them?
you try.
I'd like to lean out and say, in giant, what are you doing?
They kind of look at you and twist their head a little bit.
If I can touch them, I can find out if magic is affecting them, but I'm
I
not
don't
keen on doing
understand.
that.
Over the course of the next like 20 or 30 minutes, you guys trying to get a solid understanding of what's going on. You see wolves start walking up, packs of wolves, and they lay down kind of next to it.
So there's something definitely calling these things
I
here
feel
to us.
like there's about to be a baboon lifting a baby lion over a cliff or something.
Alright, so how are we getting out of this thing, gang?
Well, we got two options. We can fight our way out of it, or
The ground kind of rumbles again. Another purple worm kind of begins moving by.
Is this not how creatures act on your plane? Please just tell me that's how creatures act on your plane.
No, they don't act like this.
Not usually, but we're not. We don't seem to ever be in the business
The business.
of usual. So
I'm beginning to gather that.
yeah. I don't know. Morbid curiosity strikes me again, I guess.
You gonna poke your head out and walk out?
I was gonna, no, I'm poking my head out and see what's going on.
I'm trying to like.
You poke your head out, and the sun is starting to come up at this point, and you're starting, as you kind of poke your head out and get a solid look around, there's a lot of these animals starting to approach, varying size. These are dire wolves, so they're probably about 8 feet tall on their hind legs, or on all fours. You see other birds and creatures flying overhead. The ground occasionally swells and moves in different stacks and rises.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Can I use tongues a la in the way of speak with animals?
Like Tarzan?
Can I use telepathy?
I think telepathy has to have a certain intelligence score, if I remember correctly.
I'm gonna poke my head back in. Can any of you speak with animals?
No.
Ketra's napping.
I'm trying to.
I'm so fascinated by all of this. I don't know if I want to sleep. Can I? I'm gonna look down at my familiar and I'm gonna pick him up and I'm gonna like shake him up and he looks up and
He pops out, takes the tree.
I'm just gonna nod at him. Yes. What if I make you big? That's too bad. I'm going to just shake his pot and dump him out outside.
Are you gonna enlarge him?
Telepathy.
No.
So
No, I'm gonna send it just like
you take him and you shake him out of the pot as he hops out and he starts begrudgingly looking at you and he starts walking and as he
be
does
okay.
you hear something flies, picks him up and flies away.
To be fair, they could have thought he was food.
Can I form like so?
Oh, go ahead and resummon him.
I can form a telepathic bond with things that are greater than 2 intelligence.
Cool.
Creatures.
Do they have to be willing?
It's a save if they're not.
Would I be able to talk to them? Let's try to talk to them.
You cannot cast spells outside of the barrier. You can't cast stuff through the barrier.
It's my language.
What?
It's a language.
Telepathy is your language.
Yeah. It said when I did my D&D Beyond thing, there was a drop down box and I could click telepathy.
Telepathy is not a language you can
That's
just pick.
I think that's a Matt Mercer.
Yeah, that's a Matt Mercer maybe he added, but telepathy is not a language you can pick.
Oh, okay, well, let's change the name.
Wielding, let me be a creek there.
You, Ketra, you rolling over trying to go to sleep as you see this bird creature fly down, grab the thing, and just fly away.
Oh, but there goes Stumpy.
His name's Stumpy?
Today it is. I haven't named him yet.
Yikes.
I just found him recently.
You guys act like you're like best friends.
No, I think he kind of hates me.
Well, now he does. You monster.
So, what you guys doing?
Could I?
Trying to crack a plan here, bud.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna re-find familiar, and I don't know what to do.
Okay.
This is weird.
Do the animals look aggressive?
Nope. They seem to just be sitting.
They seem docile.
Yeah.
Let's rest. And we're gonna die anyway.
I'm gonna sit out there with them.
Yeah, that sounds.
Did you not watch what's happened to the elemental?
I'm bigger than that. They look like they're waiting for something. I don't know. Maybe it's interesting.
You're just gonna hang out with
Am I?
them.
Am I?
I'm gonna sit and watch this now. Yes, I'm not sleeping.
Ketra sits up and
No, please.
And something's bound to happen.
Yeah, you've died. Again.
You've died before.
It's a long story.
I'm sure one with cute, adorable, fuzzy animals like this.
I wouldn't describe it as cute and fuzzy there,
Are you sure?
Torok.
Are you sure? I'm getting the sense that it's cute and fuzzy.
No,
I've been hurt before.
no, it wasn't.
But I got bubbles.
Well, if you're gonna go out there, I'm gonna go ahead and touch him and cast Shield of Faith on him.
Okay.
That's what plus.
Plus 2 to your AC.
Oh, good.
So you walking outside? So you walking outside?
Yeah.
Can
Alright.
I cast? Let me see.
You cannot cast any spells outside of the barrier without going out the barrier.
My god, I can't cast this on him.
So Solomon walks outside as all of this wildlife immediately locks eyes onto him.
Intimidate them.
No, I'm not going to do that.
What are you doing, Solomon?
Shoot.
Go on, get. Come on,
Get out of here!
What would an animal handling check give me?
You can certainly try, buddy.
That's a drinking thing.
My drinks are all empty. My drinks are all empty.
I know, I really want my coffee. After you die, Jackson, can you get me more coffee?
This is the one proficiency I hardly ever use. So.
Pack tactics.
I have a +6 in animal handling.
Why?
Dude,
Why?
Why?
see, when I was first making Solomon, I had an entirely different plan for Solomon. It was going to go a completely different way.
Yeah, it was this guy.
And then, yeah,
It's Trump.
No, I was gonna say Trump.
I had a lot of crazy ideas with.
Huge.
I was thinking about taking some ranger levels. Anyway, 25.
25.
I like brains.
So you walk up and you reach out for these animals, and they all kind of stare and look at you. And you've handled decent sized animals before, especially during the hunts and the tier mounts and stuff like that. You've interacted with wolves, especially. As you walk up, these dire wolves are in front of you. I'm assuming that you would go for the smallest animals that are there.
I'm not going to attempt to pet a rock.
As you start walking up, these dire wolves are just looking at you, and there's this almost lack of animal instinct there.
Oh.
Where you reach out with this animal handling of being prepared to handle a wild creature, and it just seems to be staring at you.
Of course.
As you mush your hand inside its face.
Are you gonna pet the dog?
Good boy.
Good doggy.
Are you petting the wolf?
Wisdom save.
Can I do it from the back and not at his head?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm
Wisdom save.
Okay.
They're all controlled by Adam.
Is it within 10 feet of us right now?
Son of a bitch.
He's
He's
outside.
he's outside the barrier, so he's on his own now.
Hello, Simon.
21.
21. You feel as you pet into this dog this kind of creeping familiar sense.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I see more now, Solomon.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
so that begs the question, what do you need me for then?
My new pets aren't welcome in cities.
Fair.
You can be in cities, can you not?
I've been in a city or two, yes.
Do you wish to help us? As all the animals you see look at Solomon, the rocks kind of fluttering their feathers like they're going to go back into the air.
And if I say no,
I haven't let them eat recently. They're ever so hungry.
interesting.
It's called blackmail.
Am I like stuck on the wall?
No.
How far away am I from the hut?
About 20 feet. Help.
I have a plan.
Do you?
Oh God, please.
Jesus. Why can't Adam take care of things on his own?
Lord Jesus, please
so
have
dependent.
mercy.
God.
I'm going
He's
to.
about to be dropping some OLJs.
I'm going to use my tempestuous.
Oh, Lordy
magic.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, you're gonna use your Tempest magic?
Did it? I'm going to use my tempestuous magic
Uh-huh.
to to jump 10 feet without provoking an attack of opportunity. I'm going to cast Fog Cloud, and then I'm going to fucking run back to the hut.
Okay.
How far did you walk away from the hut?
20 feet.
Oh.
So with that, I need you to
21
make an initiative check for me
For what?
against all the other creatures that are about to attack you as you try and run.
But don't you have an AC of like 30?
But his thing doesn't invoke an attack of opportunity.
Yes, but then when he casts the spell, as he runs, they're gonna come. I just need to know where your dexterity, where your initiative hits. If you're just gonna run, you just roll a d6, remember?
That's right, we have the Grey Force, Greyhawk.
Greyhawk initiative.
Want to
So wait,
sleep.
I didn't think Fog Cloud was going to be malicious.
If it helps, they get whatchamacallit. If it helps, they'll be at disadvantage trying to maul you.
But they didn't go to sleep. Well, why would they maul me?
Because you're running.
I'm 20 feet away.
10 feet away.
No, from the beginning. I'm 20 feet away from the hut.
Uh-huh.
I'm teleporting 10 feet without.
You don't teleport. You
jumping.
launch yourself.
Whatever. Regardless, it doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity.
Uh-huh.
And then
we would go to initiative for combat.
I can just use the rest of my.
But you would go to initiative for combat.
Why?
Because technically casting a spell would put you into combat. If they're going to attack you, you'd be in combat.
5.
Well, if it helps, they were at a 9. Because I rolled 2 d10s for the whole horde.
Well,
So,
I mean, technically, it's a 6.
so you guys see this huge thing of smoke and fog as Solomon comes running and slides back into the hut, and you hear banging into the hut at this point.
What happened? What'd you do?
Hey, they're controlled by Adam.
Oh.
Fuck!
Isn't he like.
It makes sense.
I thought he wasn't like a bad guy. I thought he was just like not.
No, he's very
I mean, at best, he's neutral, but
benevolent.
specifically for us, yes, benevolence is very much more accurate.
like Shadow the
And
Hedgehog.
specifically for us, he has definitely never been good.
As Solomon is sitting here, you hear all these banging against it. The ground kind of shakes for a moment as you see these eagles or these rocks fly off into the distance again.
What did you do?
I just wanted to pet one of them.
Why?
I figured they were waiting for something else,
And now it's Adam.
and weren't.
What did you say to Adam?
And weren't controlled by a benevolent ancient mystic being.
Benevolent.
Yes.
I think Malevolent would work too.
I'm gonna go ahead.
I know. He's Shadow the Hedgehog.
I'm gonna go ahead and dig a small hole and go to bed.
This is all now.
As you're explaining this, he digs into poopy.
The man.
Rock.
The man has a very simple request. He wants to see the world. But the way he does that is by sneaking into your brain and taking over your eyesight and making you
He did that to Queen Blood, by
Can't
the
you see
way.
through the world?
because he said animals.
I don't
can't
like
go
that
in
he did that to
cities.
Blythe.
But I feel like
We'll have to
I feel
defeat
like
him.
giant
I feel like there'd be
flying
more
birds
outrage.
in cities. I don't know. I'm
It is
still not
sleep
sure why
time.
he needs us.
Yeah. I'm gonna
What did you do to make him mad?
take my rest. I don't want to get exhausted.
What are his plans?
I don't know why I decided he was a full-on Goron there.
He's just gonna wait and have a BS
I
when
don't,
the down.
I don't
That's
know.
what I said.
I don't know if he's going to do that per se. He did mention that they haven't eaten in a while.
So as the fog cloud disperses, all the animals are gone.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, then.
But occasionally you do feel a soft rumble underground.
Well, the purple worm's still around, so that's comforting.
Did we, is there any more desert in our eyesight?
How did Adam know we were over here?
He is. Why are you saying probably? Yeah, no, that's fair.
Are you whispering because you don't think he can hear you?
As you guys are sitting in the grass,
Like every other enemy we have, I'm sure he's listening in on this entire conversation somehow.
Same. Alright,
So,
well,
while we're at it, hey Atticus.
It's your boy.
gonna try to long rest a little bit.
all right. So you guys all sleeping?
Yeah, because I'm gonna die anyway.
Yeah, I guess so.
So
Yep.
y'all get the benefits of a long rest.
I got a 2 and an 8 for my portent this time.
Ooh.
At
first I was a little-
be Fennec
At
or-
first I was a little upset, but I was like, I could just, like, as long as it's, the 8's meh. As long as it's not in the middle, it's good.
Yeah, that's gonna be a Fennec roll. But when he tries to punch me in the face.
I predict he'll miss.
What about the second one? 8.
Oh.
No!
I predict he'd miss.
Plus 16.
I'm out of
Oh
predictions.
no. So
Danger.
What's that?
are you guys doing anything with your long
Yeah,
rest?
praying.
Hit points and that type of stuff? I don't know if you guys were hurt or anything.
No, I don't want to get
I mean,
exhausted.
I could use the spell slots back, but I'll shoot a prayer. I'm sure they're tired of talking to me.
I'm just praying because
Hey, just
my
then.
spells.
So both of you make religion checks.
I'm not trying
Yeah.
to
Are you gonna do
What are we
it?
doing when we wake up?
talk to
Yeah.
the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It rolled the 1.
Okay.
10.
10. Alright, so as you three begin your prayers, as you guys wake up, the sun's beginning to set at this point. It's kind of late afternoon.
Oh, so this is nighttime.
Yeah,
It's starting to head
We
tonight.
slept through the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, so I'm doing a hold on.
well, you're getting there. So, what did you get, Ketra?
10.
10, okay. So as you three begin your prayers, Tyr, you're still sleeping, getting situated for the day.
The evening.
The world begins to fall away. The soft rolls of winds through this kind of meadows, throwing a little bit of the sand in the air. These little sandstorms kind of still dancing around here and there. These trees blowing and moving in the boughs of this long root branches that kind of hang around. The world drifts to white. And you three see each other standing in this white void.
Oh god.
Gentlemen.
Solomon. Roman.
I'm confused.
I'm very scared right now. I'm using humor.
This is where Adam lives.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Quick question. He lives in a void?
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Can I feel? I don't feel the ground beneath me anymore.
You don't feel nothing. You just feel void.
I don't like this.
I'm cross.
I don't like losing the connection.
Same.
Solomon's like, it happens.
Welcome to my life.
We will be each other's gods.
I don't have a god.
You've met my god. Oh, yeah, the second time. No, he's out. You'll meet Syrah.
The one.
The Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's mean.
So what's up with you? You don't have a god? What?
I do not.
Why are you here?
What are you praying to?
What are you doing?
It's more of a ritual at this point. We disown
You are
our
Catholic.
we dis
I have to go every Sunday.
we just have to.
I don't believe in it.
Okay.
On the stand.
All family go.
Oh, I'm just doing it.
And the kneeling and the bar.
You're just singing.
Well, I do want to talk to you about.
Currently, the Earth deity has become Catholic God.
Catholicism.
Well, I'm interested in sharing my story about how I've disavowed my god. I think that right here is not the time for it.
No, I mean, Adam's not here yet. You can start.
We don't know if he's not here, man.
You know he's here.
So, as you guys are sitting in the void, you see these figures. 3 of them begin moving towards the group. They start to almost manifest within this white void.
What do they look like?
You see
Nega Quetra. Cinco. I knew it. Cinco. 5.
as you God. As you begin to kind of focus in, Ketra, you're the first one that would immediately recognize this. You see this huge warrior mounted across this massive black stallion horse, this huge axe drawn across his back, battle wounds and everything, with piece patchwork armor kind of hanging off of him as he's riding towards you.
This makes me uncomfortable.
What?
Why is he in the void?
Why?
I'm gonna kill him in front of me because I'm gonna kill him.
As you see next to him, there is this hulking figure, this standing probably twice the height of Tempest.
Jesus.
This long grayed and yellowed beard, white hair that kind of hangs around him.
My guy?
He's got almost this frostbitten blue skin as he has this massive hammer drawn at his side as he begins to lurch forward. You have no idea who this is. No one's seen what.
The fuck is this guy? Hey.
Nobody in Valoria ever describes
Hey,
Sturgen
smart
Voss to
fat.
me?
No,
Move
the only
aside.
person that's ever seen Sturgen Voss is Anya.
Oh, okay.
You gotta remember, up until Anya reforming him, he wasn't around for like 1,000 years.
That's true, yeah. Fair.
As the third form is this massive rock construct.
That's his guy.
Relatively human in shape, but these huge pieces of stone hanging off of him. As he moves his body, you see the ground itself start to creak and crack, pieces of stone falling off him. And as they do, they almost shift and form to life, similar to the little, what did you call him?
Takundra Muktali.
No.
Stumpy?
I meant Stumpy.
Oh, Stumpy. Yeah.
And they begin to follow behind him as they slowly start to shift into other elementals and just try to drift away.
What are you gonna say, Jackson?
I'm gonna point at the rock one. My thing's lightning. I don't really.
You know what? And then I'm gonna move Solomon. I'm gonna move Torah.
Oh,
that's my guy. Well, I feel like this is an illusion.
Takundra, why are you here?
Oh, each other.
Toyota Tacoma.
Tacoma.
There's no response as they just continue to approach you guys.
All right. Okay. I guess we can.
Be rad.
Yeah.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
I hope it's cool.
Up until we find out this is fake.
None of this is
They
cool.
all die in front of us now.
Good.
No, it's not good. No good. Wait, why don't you like your guy?
We can discuss.
Do you like your guy? Because I like my guy.
Yeah, I like my guy just fine. You've never even met your guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about
Yeah,
it.
this is
You know,
great.
after
We're
the
like
whole-
2 halves of this is jazzed, and you're not jazzed. Unjazz.
We need
Takundra deserves to rot
we need the third half.
in the hells
Jack.
beneath us.
Why do you pray to him?
I don't.
Oh. Whoa.
As they make it probably about 5 to 10 feet in front of you, Tempest climbs off the massive stallion, taking his axe and kind of draping it to the ground. As it hits, it almost sparks against the void.
Oh. Wow.
The others who look at you too.
I will, I guess, show respect.
Lord?
I pull out my hammer.
I don't know what that thing is, but I'm pretty excited.
Their Tempest speaks, and he goes, "Is this the form of God that you wish?
Oh, good. You gonna get up? Adam!
This is what your prayers lead you to, is it not?"
Not you!
I mean, not usually, no.
I don't want anything to do with this.
Who is this that you have made?
This is the vestige of Sturgenvoss.
How do you know that?
I've seen so much. More people are infatuated with the roots. They're giving me sights, taking me to cities. But the one that I wish to see most is walled.
And who is that?
Solomon can get me there.
Also, where?
The walls of that city, they will not allow me in.
Where? The Tier Mounds?
No, farther than that.
Alabama?
It's on the other side of an ocean.
Samarkand?
Samarkand's like
Valeria.
No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Cleveland.
he's like
Massachusetts, why do you want to go there?
their city is walled, and
Fair?
those do not allow me to. Their people do not allow me in.
Well, you know, I mean, people appreciate their privacy. I know that's not a thing you do.
I can be these gods for you as well. I hold just as much power as this Tempest. Where he collects souls, all souls travel through me.
What? How's that?
The world tree anchors to the other planes. All life must travel through my branches.
So, why didn't you just cling on to me when I died the first time?
This form does not allow me to hold on, but simply for them to pass through.
Adam, why are you here?
I don't know. I feel so old, but yet so young. I don't know much of this world.
How are you in my head to even know that I pray to this, or that this god is in there?
Prayers, they ring to my ears first when you're within my realm. I see so much through my branches.
But I didn't pray to this god.
Your prayers, even when not answered by him or to him, he seems to have a reach.
We'll fix that.
I can fix that for you. We can sever the ties to him and bring your worship to me.
No.
No. I'll do it myself.
No.
No.
No! No! I will handle it myself.
I do not wish to be your enemy. I simply wish to make the material plane better, to
I mean, I don't
to
know that,
guide the life from my mothers.
Worse or better?
I don't know that we're looking to make an enemy out of you, Adam. It's just you're kind of invasive.
You refused when I asked politely, when I attempted to reach out in other means.
Who says I have to say yes?
You don't. That is why I continue to ask.
Again, invasive.
You were the ones that opened the door. You woke me up.
You did what?
There's probably
That's when Reggie got absorbed.
Yeah, the thing with the porcupine.
The first of 12 keys.
How many
Right.
keys have been opened?
I don't know.
What
Others have taken up the mantle. I'm very excited.
What happens
Are
if
we
all...
the only one that has Are we the only ones that have used the key?
No, others begin to collect the keys for me.
Who?
I don't know. I am very excited though.
How many keys have you been collected?
I'm unsure.
He said he doesn't know.
My power has grown exponentially, though. I can feel into the other planes, the fires, the waters.
And if all the keys are connected, what would happen?
I may awaken.
Which would lead to what?
I only wish to bring about peace and harmony.
Have you
The goal of which my mother's, what I was born for, love.
I've heard that before.
Can I insight that?
Yeah.
He's gonna believe it.
I don't believe he's nuts.
Have you met any of them?
I've spoken to many. I don't have names, but many people give me access.
I'm gonna describe Atticus. Have
Okay.
you seen this person?
I have not. The one that brought me the most recent key was a woman.
What did she look like?
Crimson red hair. Taller than him.
Was she a fire giant?
I do not know what that is.
Can my thoughts manifest in here? I'm gonna manifest the fire giant I crushed. Like a female version of this?
No, looking more. He kind of shifts back. He comes into a form, this white silhouette. There's nothing else there.
Yeah.
There's no discernible details or anything else like that. As the three forms of the gods break away, and he kind of waves his hands, and it looks like a human, just big.
Yeah.
You can't see any details. All that you see is this crimson red hair on a human silhouette.
Did she say why she was giving you the keys?
She did not. She was simply excited to speak to me.
And she didn't give a name.
I didn't ask.
My Pinterest board is growing.
What about a location? Do you know where she opened the key?
I don't know.
It's okay. I just want to figure out, who's giving you...
I simply wish to help, and I think she understands.
There's a 17 on the side.
He's telling the truth. Your group fought me. You refused to give me sight. The one that was working with me, Blythe, she punished the power that I had given her. She shunned it away.
No, she got it ripped away.
Everything that I have done to try and reach out to you, you fought and argued, and at this point others are beginning to collect to me.
So, I don't understand, Adam. Then why ask us again?
The one in your group, Solomon. As he looks over you, he goes, "You can enter the city of Valoria. It is the one place that my eyes are barred.
So all these people opening keys can't get into Valoria.
Those that follow this god, they refuse me."
If this person you've spoken of that leads Valoria, Anya, I think,
Yes.
if she doesn't want this being in, I believe we should trust her.
I do not know of this Anya. I don't know who that is.
Until you can prove yourself as trustworthy.
What can I do? You're heading someplace, correct?
Yes.
Can I take you there?
It's gonna take a lot more than just giving us a ride.
What else can I do for you? I wish to be your friend. I wish to help. I've seen so much pain and suffering in this world, in the plains. I wish to only bring about the love in which my mother's had.
Why don't you give us a moment?
A real moment, out of our heads.
When you wish to speak again, simply touch one of my roots. As you guys come back to Tyr. Tyr is completely dressed and ready to go as you guys are all still laying down. He's over there. He's finishing up his light calisthenics.
We came out of
I think I needed to get a morning routine just like you all.
You guys are
gas.
You guys are 8 minutes into not taking a breath during this thing, so you all just start gasping.
Hurry, somebody spin a top.
You guys okay?
No.
He's got his hair done. His clothes are like perfect.
What did you make breakfast?
You know, Tyr, you should really get into this god thing. It's so exciting.
The gods
So
of enemy.
good.
But they're,
Get yourself a
I'm
guy.
not too much into fake religions.
Sounds like you would get along with Adam.
Okay, we
Actually.
Actually,
have I got a god for you?
we got a not God for you, my guy.
Do you think we should ask Adam how he feels about the planes blending together? Or is that
Probably like for it, man.
You just
not that? No, that's like totally not harmony or peace.
seems so much more friendly than the last time we met him.
I never met him.
This is where I got
It
it.
seems so much more friendly than the last time I met him.
Yeah, it's a feat. That's why.
I mean, so Atticus is trying to expand the
I'll keep it
planes.
feet. It's a UA
So,
feat. I gotta read it a little bit more, but it's a
doing
feat.
the same thing.
Well, that's a good idea. Let's see how he feels about that.
If he's
Because if we can use this to our advantage, maybe. Because if Adam can see most everything except for Valoria.
Why does he want to see glory?
I don't know. So I mean, if anybody's gonna do it, it's not me. But
I'm not doing it.
Torah, What are you asking me to do? So listen, right?
So listen, right?
Atticus knows where we are at all times.
Right.
And it can likely hear this conversation again. What's up?
Don't say what's up. Another person who doesn't want to be our enemy, who's gonna kill us.
Yeah, but he's clearly being double-sided.
Puppet string? Oh, yeah, double-sided.
Right. We can maybe we turn Adam on his nose, and we use him to get the jump on our enemies.
I'd like to point out that putting him in my head is also going to connect him into a lot of other heads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
welcome to the club.
dangerous. But
I literally connect with my people
Alright.
every night.
no!
Tyr.
Yes.
I'm eating breakfast.
Wait, small child. Gotta protect him or not? Protect him or not?
Tyr's got a small fire going. He's made breakfast. He's taking a bite.
Why don't you come touch this root with us?
Where'd you get oatmeal? I bought it.
I have a suggestion,
Protein in the morning.
and I'm gonna pick up Stumpy. It's a trade till he can prove that he trusts that we can trust him.
That's fair, because
You're gonna trade Stumpy?
Stumpy, close your ears, because you can just kind of kill him, right? Whatever.
Yes.
Okay, so
I don't know if it comes.
Remember, your find familiar is the same familiar every time.
No, I can't kill him. I lied. Maybe I don't want to give up my find familiar spell permanently. Hold on, come back, Stumpy. He just glares at me with anger.
playing, bro.
It's just a joke. It's just a joke. Get back in the backpack.
bro, it's a prank, bro, it's a prank.
bro.
Bro,
Okay, Tyr, again, back to you, buddy.
You're tagging in, man.
Do we really want to? Okay. How did Blythe get Adam out of her the first time?
He was ripped out.
I think it was a whole magical.
Who ripped her out?
The Heavenly Seven.
Right, yeah.
So does the Heavenly Seven consider Adam an enemy?
I think so.
I think so.
happening.
Enemy of an enemy is our friend.
I mean, that's
Maybe.
what they do
I'm
for
saying,
Fennec.
let's turn it on its nose, and we can get the jump on them
What if we asked him how he feels about
What
the
does
Heavenly
this
Seven?
Adam want, though?
to see things.
What is his end goal?
He wants
His
to
end goal is to see
expend.
things?
Well,
He
that's
wants
what,
to extend his power. And
What end?
and kill our gods. Do you not remember that detail? False gods, so we can all worship him.
Pinterest. There's, I feel like there's more pressing matters because if the material plane is destroyed, then it's not really gonna matter who our gods are, is it?
I don't know a whole lot about these gods.
And then
you're talking
we
about.
say the material
Anxiety,
plane,
what should we call it? So,
and then we save the
so
material plane, and then
religious.
what? We gotta turn on Adam?
Yeah.
What? We gotta fool him? We gotta trick him?
When has
We gotta lie to
when
him?
has our
What?
shit list ever shortened?
Never.
Okay, this is
Why
just,
are we putting
this
more?
is just one more thing.
Why are we putting more things on it?
Okay. Pause. What
at this point, the
if,
barrier does collapse, by the way.
And we're both on the edge.
Guys, it's about to.
what if we tell Adam that we're willing to discuss letting him into one of us after he does us a deal? What if we ask him to go keep an eye on the gates? I mean, I guess we should find out first what his feelings are on
to
it.
Catcher's question of what if he's on the side of the Heavenly Seven about all this?
But if the Heavenly Seven casts him out of Blythe,
That's also true.
I don't know. I don't know
come touch
enough
his
about
root
him.
with us.
I don't think it's a good idea.
You don't have to touch the root if you don't want to.
Tyr.
And then he asked me to touch his root, and
Like, I know.
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing no. But what if that no was a yes?
Just
show me on the tree where he made you touch him.
The root.
just rub it a little bit.
Spit on your hand first. Okay, so we can ask him because they're opening the gates, but they're trying to expand and cause war.
Well, hold on. If
Only the strong survive.
Adam's against war.
Only the strong survive.
What if Adam makes us stronger? What if we have entirely misunderstood?
No.
I feel like you.
Minus the whole killer god thing, right?
I mean, gods are.
I don't know if you know this, but all of my power comes from my devotion to my God.
You'd be
I don't even know if you know this.
Literally, Solomon is in the same spot and so
you'd be surprised how many of your powers you keep when you reject your god.
We need you, buddy. We're all accounted for.
That's after the fact, though. Also,
Adam God
I don't know if you
wants
remember
to
this.
destroy the world.
No, he wants peace.
Why is he a bad guy?
Maybe that's what we're trying to find out here. Listen, right? He just doesn't like other gods. He just needs to learn how to play
He wants to kill all the other gods.
Which you don't even care about anyway. So it doesn't matter to you.
You gonna find religion.
He's just a little happy voice that lives in your head. But Torok looks at Tyr and says, I don't know that you should put the random voice in your head.
No.
You're young.
No.
I turned out great. Look at me.
Didn't she die?
That was before all this.
It was.
And that
It
was-
was before all this.
That was well before Adam.
Look, I
didn't even know who my god was.
I think letting Adam into any of our heads right now would be a rash decision that is not well
Why
thought
does
out.
Adam have to be in our heads?
Because he
Where
can't
is
see. He's all around
He's stuck
this area.
He is stuck in a white
It's one
void
of those things.
of nothingness.
Wait, are you familiar with this?
No,
Then why are you saying, oh, one of those things?
because I don't believe in religion.
It's not religion, it's an old being.
Just telling me I have to believe in something I can't see.
I didn't say
We
that.
can show them to you. I can guarantee you. That's the fucking roof. All you gotta do is put your hand on the roof, buddy.
So he lives inside of this tree.
Correct, yes. Until he is released from said tree. So, again, Pinterest, right? We find all the other people that want to open the door to the tree.
But you guys said him
Could they be
and
gates?
the Heavenly Seven want to do the same thing.
The
Is
two
that not a
halves
bad
of the
thing?
same coin, man.
But what I'm saying is we find them who want to open the gate to the tree, dispose of them. Adam never gets out. Eventually, we find a way to get him out of Tyr.
What?
I'm not sure I like that you've chosen the child to throw this
He's not a
thing
child,
into.
he's older than me.
20.
Oh, well, we're not going with 30 anymore.
No, because it was weird.
To me, you're all the
That was
children.
ungenerated.
Fair. However,
How old are you?
35.
Yes, to me, you're all the children.
listen. This isn't going away.
I know. Wait,
So,
how many deals do we have to make before we can break even?
this is about mitigation.
Then you do it.
I'm accounted for. Just like you said you are.
Same.
Why is
Someone keeps on doing this towards Tyr.
I'm pointing at him. You can't force religion on someone.
I'm not even. He's not a religion.
You're right.
It works. It fits. He doesn't believe in gods. This isn't a religion. Adam's not God.
But Adam wants to kill everything.
No, Adam wants peace. It's the Heavenly Seven who want to kill everything.
Adam's
This
gonna ruin
young
everything.
child has come out for his first adventure, and you're just going to throw a voice into his head?
Hi, 2 years ago.
And I would have advocated for you then too.
Okay, let's say we agree to do this. What do we want?
It's a matter of keeping an eye on things we can't keep an eye on ourselves.
What, like the material planes?
Yes.
Like the gates? What doesn't he...
Don't we have the gates taken care of?
We have some of the gates taken care of.
We have one of the
But
gates taken care of.
Why would Adam help us take care of the gates if he wants to do the same thing that Henry said about it?
He doesn't though.
We hope.
I don't.
You know what? Let's talk to him.
I don't. Yes. Come on, dear.
Touch the... We're talking to him.
All of us?
Yes.
All of us
Come
are
on, dude.
touching the
You need to
roof?
trust us.
Okay.
We're not going to make you make any decisions. Solomon.
Yeah.
As soon as they get in. We need
Can
to
I
ask...
grab Tyr and move him to the other side away from them? Stand over here.
I don't want him in his head!
Okay, you stand right
You
here
keep
too.
making assumptions
You
about me.
stand
It's
here.
getting hurtful.
You stand here. Put Solomon way over there.
It's getting hurtful.
I just want to protect the child.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Thank you.
We all want to protect it.
The one.
You're punching him. You're punching him.
He's okay.
You're used to interacting with rock people, so you're like, there's a little bit more stability there. Just bat him in the face.
He's gonna have a black eye now. Okay,
He's safe with me.
let's all breathe. Something's gonna enter your mind. Let it. Okay?
Okay. It's gonna.
It feels a little. It's a little tingly.
No. We have to make a deal.
Okay.
Doesn't have to stay in your mind if you don't want him to.
And what is our deal gonna be?
Don't know yet. Apparently, it's checking the gates. Okay.
Amongst other things.
Isn't that what we're? Go ahead.
No, we're touching the root now.
Oh,
It's too bad we don't have like a fairy or something here with us to make the deal.
I hate this.
a fairy?
She would have made the deal already. You guys wouldn't even been having this conversation.
No, she would have yelled at us for making the deal.
Nah, she made the deal the first time. Pretty quick.
She was really quick.
Fairy?
Fix it.
Hands.
Alright, you guys are touching the tree? Or are you letting him in?
Yes. Fucking Bray Wyatt over here.
Yes?
Yeah.
Damn me.
Do it.
So, that familiar feeling kind of washes over the three of you. Tyr, you feel like fingers digging into your head. It's almost like somebody's physically grasping onto your brain. And as they do so, everything kind of fades.
Oh god.
And when you guys are used to this massive white, everything is met by more these subtle tones of grays and blacks that are kind of swirling and misting. And this white silhouette is very visible at this point.
Do the thing with the gods again, and then see that he doesn't have one.
Why is this different?
What's different?
I felt that this would make it easier for you all, to make you more comfortable.
I mean,
Can you make a
Is
chair?
that Adam?
we usually.
Waves his hand as a chair forms
Yes.
behind you.
I'm gonna sit in the chair.
Do we wish to sit?
Yes, please.
He motions his hands as it creates like this large table before you.
So, we have questions.
Adam, I presume.
I am. You're Tyr, right?
Yes.
That's what they call you now. It's a good name, strong name.
Now,
It is what they've called me now. You know, I casted away my old name, but how would you know that?
Upon touching the roots, I get access to your memories.
Oh, so you see.
Most things.
It's the first time I'm touching the roof. So, you have access. The
To where?
Heavenly Seven.
I do not know who this is. Are they gods?
You just said you can access my memories.
Some things are hazier, and I don't understand terms.
Okay. They're a group of people. Kind of like us, an adventuring party.
Okay.
They're looking to open the gates to the material plane to cause war. Chaos.
I do not understand.
So, they open the fire plane.
I feel into the fires.
So, they've released everything in there. Fire giants. I'm waiting for a phoenix at this point.
Onto the
Fire
material
elemental.
plane.
Atticus, the leader. He told me he's opening them so he can reset the world, and it sounds like in a different way than what you're saying.
I wish to only show the love to the material plane that my mother's shown when I was born.
and they want to
And how?
expand it through radical movement and through destruction and decay.
But who is it that leads them?
We don't know.
Why would they do this? Why would they destroy what my mother created for you all?
We don't know. That's what we're trying to
Your
do.
mother created the material plane.
My mother's, yes.
Oh.
We don't know. We're trying to stop them. And there's this tournament coming.
What can I do to help you all?
That's what we're trying to figure out. Do you know where all the gates are?
I do not. I can feel into the other planes, but I don't know where my roots pass.
How does he plan to achieve his goal? You said you want to bring the peace back to the material plane.
I wish to show the love that my mother's shown it when they were alive.
Who are your mothers?
The goddess Selun and Shah.
Do I know anything about them?
Rumors, kind of. They're the two first goddesses. They created all the other... And they basically created most life, and then their followers went to war, causing them to go to war, and the destruction of them is what split their power, creating the other gods.
That's why he doesn't believe in the other.
Okay, but
That's why
does my mother's love mean like, oh look, we made a beautiful planet, or oh hey look, I waged a war against each other?
So
Which
that's why
mother's
they
love are we
say you
talking
believe in
about?
The other gods is because they came after you after the war.
These gods are fragments of my mother's.
Okay.
Remnant echoes, pieces.
Of their powers.
They wear her gift, their corpses as trophies to give themselves power and gift. How would you feel?
Yeah, I understand that. So, to what I'm understanding, you wish to get rid of these other gods and the planes that they control?
Their reach has gotten too far. Don't you agree?
I'm not sure very much about the religions and the gods.
You've seen suffering, have you not?
Everywhere I've gone.
Have the gods not come forward to help you?
Not once.
And he looks over to you and he goes, when your people were taken as slaves, tortured and abused, where was the god that you worshipped?
You clearly are in my thoughts and you know where he was. Not there.
They readily abandoned you all. My mothers would have never. I would never.
What is it you want from us then?
I simply need information further than my reach can get.
You want to be taken into the Valoria.
I wish to simply speak to the lady there. I've heard great things of her power.
She's the god slayer.
I don't know what that is. I would assume one that slays gods, but
Yes.
I do not understand.
When things and gods get too powerful, she calls upon the strength of Sterling Lost. And she eliminates and puts down a peg.
So there is a system of some kind of check and balance.
Right, so really what you're concerned about is already being handled.
But they still abuse their powers.
How so?
The mother's powers gave life to this planet, did it not? It created most organisms that live here. They pulled from other planes of existence to make this place beautiful and perfect. But the gods now, they wage war with each other. They demand sacrifice and bloodshed.
Not all of them.
But enough.
Would you consider it a fair price if we were to offer a trade in an offering of your help to help us look into what is happening at the gates? Would it be fair for us to relay your message to the God Slayer so that she knows that you want to speak to her?
If that is something that can be done,
We could relay a message.
I will provide you with some assistance then.
That seems like something very manageable.
We need to make sure the gates stay closed while we handle this tournament.
I will...
There are thousands, tens of thousands of souls being bet at this tournament.
I feel them pulled. They're coming here. Through my roots from the other planes to the material plane.
It's important that they're freed and sent to where they need to go.
To flourish.
I will get you where you need to be, and I will attempt to locate these planes.
Do we know? Do you know anything about more of this tournament of souls that they've been collecting?
I do not. But let me get this taken care of for you. You'll tell her, will you? This queen that I've heard so much about.
I will
certainly
send a
will.
message.
Thank you, Adam.
He looks in as everything fades out. You guys kind of sit where you are.
That went better than expected.
The solves kind of
Does everybody
in the
feel,
ground.
Yeah.
Paul?
Kind of
So far.
rumbles a little bit as you see a hand kind of reach out of the soil. And this
What is
husk
it?
start pulling itself out.
What is that?
Oh, it's not time. Just stick it.
Take out my sword and just, I'm gonna wait.
Roll, Ketra and Solomon, roll a perception check.
It's me, Adam. I'm a
Can I roll
man.
to see what husks are made of? Can I tell?
They're dried corpses.
Yeah.
They're super, super dried
You
corpses.
said perception?
Yes.
18. The oof boys strike again.
As this body pulls up, it looks familiar. It's kind of tall, gaunt in appearance, kind of very dried and very rot kind of filled. It's difficult to entirely pick who it is, but it's a very familiar face. You can't, it's very familiar features. It looks like somebody that you've seen before, but you really can't put a finger on it.
Not even with a 19?
It's just all rotten and broken apart. You see predominantly bone.
I'd like to further investigate. Can I tell if it's human or...
It's humanoid.
I feel like we know each other.
Is it attacking us?
Can you spell your name?
As it begins to walk towards the tree.
Is that Adam?
Adam.
Or somebody
Sandile?
sent one of his...
Papa.
Is that one of his
My hopes and dreams.
creatures he sent?
No.
I suppose we follow it, then it's
It's
walking
going
in our
towards the
direction.
tree, right?
That's where we're heading.
What did you ask Adam to do?
Lead us to take...
It's Adam.
Assist us.
So it's
Yeah.
Adam.
Look into the gates. What do you know of the tree?
What is it?
He said he was going to offer us help.
There's
to get to where we
gates
want
that
to.
fully open the world tree. Right?
No, the gate of Earth is under the world tree.
Okay, yeah.
You asked him to look into the gates.
So he's going to the world.
He's sending something to look into the gate, the world tree.
So he's one of his creatures. Because he was controlling all those other creatures. Doesn't
Right.
say he can't control this one.
No, I mean, that's fair. I just feel like I know this husk.
It just starts shambling out there.
Alright, well, I guess we kind of follow it until we part ways.
Let's see if we can get to Fennec. Alright, get all your stuff.
Did you wish for Adam to transport you guys? Because he said he would.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, he said he
You
was
got us to
gonna do it.
Fennec. We're like, right outside. You know what? Use his judgment. I'm gonna die anyway.
Should we at least check out that Earth cable we're here?
Oh, we're not going to the
We're not
tree.
close to. We're not close.
Oh.
No. You're
So,
like,
Months out, right?
yeah, you're probably like a month of
where's the
wandering
house
through the
going?
desert.
To the tree. He's just going in our general direction.
oh, okay.
Because we're heading halfway to.
Mr. Adam, if you would please. Energize.
The root kind of shifts and cracks as this branch kind of slowly opens out like a balloon as it reaches around you guys.
Oh, this is weird.
As it begins to stick in, the roots kind of spread and almost wrap around you guys like this root bulb as you're just in darkness.
Weird.
Okay.
Nothing seems to happen.
So above and so below.
Did we just die?
No.
You're just in sheer darkness. There is no light.
No, I'm not burning alive, so.
Not even.
No, I haven't died yet.
Can't even see with dark vision.
I mean,
Are we in the same root thing, or?
You guys are all together.
So,
can I cast the light on my...
As you go to cast light, it just immediately extinguished.
Oh.
so why don't you name yourself Tyr?
Well... I guess I know you well enough now. I mean...
Yeah, it's been like a
helping
day.
you guys. I know, right? I have agreed to help you guys in this tournament. Maybe you should know a little bit about me. So, my original name is Drawak of the Maw.
From the mall.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Yeah. It's important.
That's a kid. Open the
Jackson,
door.
let's pretend to be.
No, don't pretend to be me. Just open the door real quick. Let me see which one it is. If it's the big one, she'll probably.
What is it, Drowick?
Jujube? Amelia Ray?
Was it the dog?
No, it was not. It was.
The Lord?
And Julia might be in. Was my bedroom door closed?
No, I don't think so.
It was like lightly closed.
Okay, so Julia probably went in my room.
What did you say? I'm sorry, what
No.
did you say? Your name was?
That was probably her closing her bedroom door. Or Amelia going to the bathroom in the helmet escape of the bathroom that is over there. They'll start freaking out if anything in a minute.
DRAWAC.
No, you're in here though, don't they?
Julia does. Amelia might not.
Okay.
Julia does. Julia knows the
Of the mall.
Yeah.
And
So, I used to be a lot different of a person than I am now. I wasn't so decent with talking to people, and I was a huge wimp, and just all that had to change one day. I met a knight who came in and saved my village, saved my city from a really bad family who was controlling it. He kept calling out the name. His name was Tyr. So after I grew up, I had to I decided I was going to be strong too. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to stop being the same guy I was. So I had to finish the job. There was still some of this family, kind of just the really malicious family who was very corrupt and tyrannical to the people. Kept us all poor, used to torture and beat us, take the children away, kill people, and just... I decided I had enough, and my friend and I stood up against them, and we were able to defeat them at the cost of my friend's life. But I decided I'd go on and continue living, and in this knight's name, I do try to do good for anybody I come into contact with. That's why I agreed to help you guys when I heard about your predicament, how you lost your friend to this tournament. We're trying to sacrifice her. I just want to do good and make up for all the times that I wasn't strong.
well, it's very honorable to you, and I'm happy to have you.
Thank you.
The darkness begins to crack like wood breaking away, and as it does, you're standing in a large field.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, it'd be more like a forest. This large evergreen forest, these thick canopies reaching out and spread in all direction. And there's this heat.
Feel like we're here.
This incredibly uncomfortable rolling heat. And you can actually see...
affect me though?
It's just uncomfortable. It's not like you're burning. It's not doing damage. It's just, it's uncomfortable. You can feel it. And you can see that the trees ahead of you are blistered and burning, as there's this massive fire burning in the center.
Is that the guy you guys are looking for?
Yeah. I'll be, do you want to get guidance?
Yeah.
Are you gonna go talk to him alone?
Torok, I could use some backup.
Yes, I don't.
I'd be
fire.
more than
Why
happy
don't we
to go
go
with you.
together?
Yeah.
I think numbers are better.
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't all want you guys to get one shot.
It's yeah.
Okay. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, look at us. The gang's back together.
Welcome to the gang, kid. We're
I
officially,
think it's good to
whatever
be
we're called.
High fives these all
I'm not
across.
sure I was ever in the gang either, but I'm happy
You
to
are. You're an
come
oof
now.
boy. To the oof boys.
Is that what we're calling ourselves?
I don't know, but
Is that the party name now?
I feel like it is.
The Oof Boys and Blythe?
Big oof. Life in the oof voice.
life in the big oof.
I'd like to use a level 2 spell slot and cast Bless on all of us as we walk up.
Okay.
It's blessed.
Bless only lasts for a minute, though, doesn't it?
What's up, baby?
That was 10.
Come on, baby.
No, you're right. It is a minute. I'll wait.
It's a combat spell.
I'm going to give us all another resistance.
Thank you. I'm gonna need it. Okay, let's.
So y'all start a moseying.
I'm gonna make sure everything is sheathed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is there a proper way that I would know maybe to greet a phoenix?
No.
Wait, he's
Phoenixes
a
you don't talk
phoenix?
to.
Punched a phoenix and became a phoenix.
No, it's just his name very closely resembles that.
Phoenix.
What about when you approach? What's the Earth version of this?
Giant turtle.
What about when you approach a giant turtle?
Atu?
I would think so. I think it is.
Is there a way
that's
that
the
you
world
should
turtle.
do that?
It's through a lot of respect and kind of fear.
Okay.
I want to say they're in this book. They're either in this book or in Volvo's.
It's that one.
Is it this one?
Yeah.
That has the four.
That's Morton Cannons, right?
Yeah.
Zara 10.
So, you guys begin. Here we go.
Yeah.
Leviathan, Phoenix. Yeah, 0-10.
All right.
It really has the exact name.
Mhm.
Wow.
Zeratin's Tempest, and then Tempests are the wind one.
I'm gonna just hands on my belt sides.
I'm assuming we bow to greet him.
I'm not gonna bow.
I'm gonna go up and take a knee in front of it.
I have a plan.
Oh, please enlighten me.
If he gets a little too uppity, I cast Slate Storm.
Yeah, it's gonna make him real happy, man.
Yeah, it's a fire thing, right?
Can we just like evaporate this thing?
Pokemon weaknesses apply.
You put out the fire with it.
Throw a water gun.
Fire.
Water's also gonna like dim my spells.
Yeah,
Stop.
and Roy Mustang is useless in the rain.
Nickelback.
So
Nickelback is the opposite of Hoobastank?
Yes.
Alright, that's fair. So,
Because the reason is you.
you begin walking into
The fire.
this raging inferno before you.
Yeah.
The trees are breaking, they're almost blistering and cracking down, branches kind of spark. The grass is dried and dead as little flakes of fire kind of ignite off of it and roll. It's like walking towards the sun, this massive heat that's kind of radiating. I need the two of you to make con saves, because the two of you aren't bothered by heat.
What aren't tieflings like
The tiefling type you chose is cold based, if I remember correctly.
Mephistopheles?
I believe. I'm not 100%, but I believe.
what does a 15 get me?
Saves?
Yeah.
You can add 7 to that.
I mean,
three,
it
too.
sounded like he was about to
Oh,
say
no.
Yo, boys, the paladins are here.
No, you're fine. That's enough.
Oh, okay.
It's uncomfortable. It's not.
Tier also
do
you
we,
can
I
add
mean, do we
7.
get the +7 to every single save ever?
Yeah.
As long
Every
as you're
save.
within 10 feet of us. Wait till it's
That's the
30
spicy
feet.
meatball.
Oh,
Yeah, but that needs you guys to be level 17 paladins to get the 30 feet.
17 paladin, here I come.
I'm not going that far.
I'm not either.
So what?
You have resistance to fire.
Who?
You're good.
Oh.
So
I was about to say, I don't have
as you guys begin walking closer and closer, these licks of fire begin kind of dancing off of it, like serpents' tails smacking the ground. And you see just this figure, this black shape in this massive fire as it reaches out in all directions. And in but an instant, everything condenses down and disappears. The charred ground and trees all around. He's probably still 100 yards away. You just see this black figure.
I'm gonna keep walking.
Okay?
Cautiously.
I'm gonna walk up, and when I feel like we are in a good spot, I'm going to kneel in front of him.
I will do the same.
So,
Respect.
as you continue forward, you see this imposing orc figure. It's very similar in build to Ketra, maybe 2 or 3 inches shorter, but a little bit wider. And his entire body is scrawled with these tattoos, these black markings all the way up him. And as he sits there, you guys look, and he is holding this massive bird down by its neck. Fiery wings thrashing in all directions
Oh, he's not the phoenix. He's just hurting the phoenix.
as he's literally starting to crush it down.
Still.
That's what the fires were. That's not
Wait.
him.
Different Phoenix?
Same Phoenix.
What do phoenixes do?
Oh.
Dying.
So he just keeps killing the same Phoenix.
Let's ask. Hey! No, I'm just kidding. Please don't. Excuse me!
Hey, it's your boy.
It's your cousin, dude! We got the same, like,
Righteous!
grandparents! And then all of a sudden Fennec goes, oh! It's like the beginning of The Hobbit. We just start headbutting each other out of love. Because we're dwarves.
He's just crushing this thing as it's flailing about, and you see eventually its wings kind of start to stop thrashing as it drops. And it just starts to and crumble and kind of break apart. This large build of ash just slowly starting to form in these embers.
So we shouldn't
I was
blow
the
it
only
away.
one there. When we climbed up the tower.
Oh yeah, you were the only one there that found the big pile of ash.
I was like, hey.
Does he notice us?
No.
I thought I was expecting to meet the Phoenix, not a Phoenix murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you know, we ran.
Are you talking at this level, man?
I ran into a situation like that before.
Cast silence!
And we thought it was just sand, but it turns out it was the ashes of the Phoenix. I wasn't there for that.
You
The
thought
whole thing.
you thought that ashes were sand.
But, you know,
Yeah, and they found this giant fist, and they're like, oh,
I thought you do you not have any intelligent people on your team?
what?
it was me. I was the intelligent person.
And you didn't pick up that it wasn't. You know what? Never mind. It's too late now.
Who knew what that would have been wasn't there.
It's true.
Understand.
They ditched me.
The one person who would be able to recognize ash.
It all together.
You see his hand is buried in the ash. As he picks up, you see these tattoos, these markings on him begin to glow and darken as it begins to pull in this ash into him.
Maui?
He's charging.
I don't know what's going on.
Why is he doing that?
Why are you doing that?
I'm
You
good.
have to have the utmost respect for this guy, but he just murdered a Phoenix.
I don't think he would look at it that way.
This radiant heat begins to roll again
Hello.
as he kind of turns and cocks his head back. You see the markings go all the way up onto his face, and it's almost like a beak in between his eyes. It pulls back, and on his chest is a massive open phoenix tattoo.
Fennec, I presume.
I'm kind of in the middle of something.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
If you
Don't.
wish to join the corpses at my feet, please hold.
I won't.
Oh, I don't.
Very quick. No.
I'd like to take a knee. I'm not so here to join the corpses at your feet.
Yeah, we're not. So just let him do. Just.
No, he said hold if we want to. He said hold if you want to join. I don't want to join.
He did say that.
I thought you said hold.
Ketra, your nerves are getting the best of you. Calm down.
Shane didn't say hold if you want to.
Yeah, I feel like that's what he said.
That's exactly what he said. He said hold if he wanted to join the corpses at my feet.
Oh.
I don't.
Avert your gaze.
No.
So then, let's not
Just
hold.
step to the side.
To the side.
We're not really sure what to do. We want to live.
He turns back, and Torok, you get this feeling that hits you in your core. It's almost similar to staring at the cons of the Earth plane, but this fire that's radiating off of him, almost like he's swallowed in a Fritzy god.
You beg my pardon, but I tend to feel things a little bit. You feel like an Ifriti, maybe. Did you eat one?
Long time ago.
That's an impressive feat.
What do you want?
Yes. Well, first off, hello. Sorry, I don't mean to
He kind of cracks his neck as he kind of finally fully stands upright and kind of cracks his body down. You can see most of the ash has been pulled into him, and you can see there is an egg sitting buried in the ash.
May I approach, or this is a safe distance? I'm not trying to impose or be aggressive. God, really, God. I'm annoying you. I'm sorry. It's just.
Can someone that sounds less like a babbling idiot speak?
Hey, yeah, so the Tournament of Souls is about to start, and we want you to join our team for the material plane so the whole entire world doesn't get destroyed.
Let me direct.
Sorry, you look like you like to fight.
I'm looking for someone.
And who are you?
Please elaborate.
There's someone out in this desert. It's meant to give me a good fight.
Yeah?
Half-orc.
It's weird. I'm a very big goblin.
Are you sure, Ketra? I think you're the one he might be looking for.
What?
No. My fight's with someone more skilled.
I mean, I've been training for like 2 years, so that's hurtful.
Also, you don't follow the same god.
I don't. And I'm gonna, can you see the brandings of Tempest? No, I don't.
What god do you follow?
I don't follow a god.
No, he's talking about the guy that's supposed to fight him.
What god does that guy follow?
Hello.
Was that said already? Oh.
That was
It's gonna get weird.
that was what's his name?
Stop. It's Griswold.
His eye immediately locks to you. How do you know the name?
Now I'm nervous. Like Justin's nervous in real life.
I'll be out there.
I'm going to take my footlocker. If I may. Approach him. I'm gonna kneel before it and open it. And I'm gonna take out the plate, the chest piece of.
Motherfucker died, didn't he?
He did. Sorry, it's a reflex.
What's your AC?
Hi.
How high?
You cast guidance, right? With my shield, it's 19.
Could I go ahead and make that a 2?
Okay.
Ooh.
Still not gonna hurt. It's still gonna hurt.
We'll see.
It's still gonna hit me.
What
He's
is
like
this plus
32, 21.
It's not that high.
29.
I have foreseen him missing.
His
Doing that
hand,
weird thing again.
his hand reaches towards you, and you just manage to move out. It's fast, and you feel this heat kind of crest against you as he just almost barely crashes onto the front of your armor.
Okay, just relax. Let's calm heads prevail.
Close to where you are now, you can see the sand underneath him is beginning to glass.
Yeah.
It's starting to this heat is starting to radiate off of him. The tattooed markings up his body begin to glow red and burn.
Fennec, I understand you're upset that your challenge died, but if he died, that says enough. You're the victor. You're stronger. Why am I going Australian again? The Russian.
Who brought the man from the cliffs?
The man from the cliffs.
I brought myself.
The fight wasn't for strength. It had more. He kind of just drops and sits on the ground.
Who? Fennec?
Can I?
And he goes into pouting like,
I'm gonna sit next to him.
If you want to. It's hot. It's uncomfortable.
it's toasty.
His family. I'm gonna sit next to him. He traveled with me.
Were you my replacement?
I think so.
Pathetic.
I'm not actually offended at this point.
Did he give you the blade?
Yeah.
Of course he did. Has to be in the hands of somebody that'll use it right.
And blood.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I didn't know I had a cousin.
I did.
Oh. You guys are.
We could have. Things could have been very different, I think. But with this knowledge, that's why I'm here.
Tournament of Blood.
Tournament of Blood.
I know it. You won't.
Not interested.
No, I was. Somebody else already approached.
Atticus?
Nah, somebody else.
The fire plane.
They don't talk to me. You kill one of the leaders of the city of Brass, and they're not exactly too keen on bringing you around.
Yeah. Sensible. You also take their slaves and not very keen on let you live peacefully.
But we've gone so. Fennec, we went really far to find you.
Yeah, come on.
Is that what you guys are at now? You're at the come on?
Who else approached Fennec?
That's a name, maybe?
It's a pair of twins.
Oh.
So
That's the Heavenly Seven. They mean to kill you. They want us.
So they didn't join him in the first place.
Because what? Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Before the big one that they got with them now, they tried bringing me in. Back when my training wasn't done.
Try to get them to join.
Does
They
it?
try to get Jaden too. The Fire Wolf guy. So why join them now?
I'm not. But I'm not participating in the tournament.
And why? Why not? You know they aim to destroy this material plane.
This plane's dealt with worse than that.
What would you want in offering for you to join with us? Is there anything in this world you desire, besides a fight with Griswold?
Not anymore.
What about a fight with me?
You're not ready yet.
Make me ready.
That's not my job. Jaden was supposed to get you ready. Griswold was supposed to get you ready.
Apparently I'm as ready as I'm gonna be. All I have is me now. And you.
And where is she?
Sleeping.
You tried it, didn't you?
It worked.
Not well.
It worked very well.
Is she sleeping?
Yes.
Then you're not good enough yet.
That's all these people keep telling me. I'm not good enough. I'm not this, I'm not that. I don't care.
I think you're good enough.
Thank you.
Pep talk from Torok.
Give me that T6 of it, inspiration.
You gotta take like one level of board eventually.
I think you're good enough. Take your inspiration.
I don't care about any of this. My mom and my sister are being held captive.
Russ Marsh.
Russ Marsh. I'm going to free them, and I'm going to free all of my people. I can't do that if there's nothing left. I don't even get to go to my god anymore.
I'm not fighting in the tournament. It's too dangerous. Not just for me. I don't care about that, but from the people I'm fighting alongside.
Do you have a suggestion of someone else that might fight with us? We need a powerful 8th ally.
You'll find other fighters at the tournament, won't you not?
But do we know if we could trust them?
Do you know you can trust me?
Yes.
Who else can choke out a phoenix? Just out of curiosity.
On this plane, not many.
Okay.
But that's also specialty training.
Feel that would be very beneficial.
If you think it's too dangerous, obviously we're not gonna talk to you until our faces up.
He stands up and he offers you a forearm to pull you to stand.
Take it.
As he grabs you, the markings on his arm begin to glow and burn, and they start to burn onto you. This is just a touch.
Oh.
For the next 6 months, my body will burn like the cinders of the phoenix. As he lets go of you. It only gets hotter. Like I said, it's not safe for me to be there.
For the sake of us being around you.
For the sake of eventually I won't confident myself in flames of the phoenix.
But then you'll be reborn, right?
Then the markings will be complete.
And what will happen to you?
Gifts to the phoenix.
Poop a sec.
All right.
Will you not punch me in the face next time I see you? I'd like to see you.
We'll see. Get better. If you're supposed to take the position of his fight, you need to get better.
I will.
He kind of stands up and you see him grab a little rucksack that was on the ground. He throws it on his shoulder. Is your plan to go to the tournament from here?
Yeah.
We really don't have any other choice.
Could I ask a question before we continue?
Yeah.
You pushed back on my people. My people were praying, and you literally pushed us back. Can you feel the connection as well?
Something that comes from the Ifriti. Most of your elementals are connected through a similar path. You add some to your prayer group, you might be able to reach out to some others.
It's true. Interesting.
Oh, the gates are trying to be open.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want them open?
Would you be able
This isn't my thing.
You're shadow ball, John. You're
I was promised a good fight. That fight's dead. I was promised you'd be ready to fight. You're not. So now I'm gonna go do what I'm supposed to do and head south.
South where?
Amber Isles.
Just there.
That got blown up.
I know.
Oh, alright.
But what do you think's gonna stand at that gate preventing stuff from coming in?
But you said you didn't care.
I don't.
Why do I keep going Australian with you?
But much like he has a responsibility, I have a responsibility.
I understand.
Jaden trained me first. I'm supposed to take his spot at the gate when he died.
Understood. Does that mean if anything happens to you, I'm to take the spot?
No.
Then what the fudge am I supposed to do? I don't know what the lesson is.
Old man told you there was some bigger deal going on, didn't he?
Yes. He was very vague about it. It was very annoying. I didn't find out he was my uncle until, literally, he didn't even tell me. Alma told me. I don't even know who my dad is.
It's okay, a lot of people don't.
Pick up a history book.
I have.
Look up the Savage King.
I have. I don't know anything. I know he got punched in the face and killed. And I know he raped and pillaged.
He raised a war front against Pharos, the Iron City. Said that what they were doing to the Blood Moors was unright.
Was what?
Unright. Not right. Unjust. There you go.
Not right.
I'm not him.
No one expects you to be. But you're also not Griswold.
I want to be Griswold. I want to be Ketra.
Then stop continuing his mission. Stop carrying his mantle.
I promised him.
Did he keep his promises to you?
I don't even know what those promises were, mate.
Because he didn't keep any to me.
He saved me.
Yeah? From what? Something he brought you into?
A bunch of undead.
Yep. Keep the sword on your back. She's reliable.
Are you another axe?
Different. Griswold carried her. We spent a lot of time together. I'm gonna head south. When you're ready for a fight.
Got it.
He starts to walk away. You see the glass forming under his steps. Word of advice:
Yeah.
don't trust anybody during that tournament.
Understood.
It's gonna bring out the worst in humanity.
Even us?
Yeah. Most people that participate, their wish is to forget it or never participate again.
I think unfortunately we all have a lot at stake. Loved ones and friends that need to be protected.
Hopefully you can get through the nightmares.
Awesome.
Anything else you need from me?
Just thank you. Do you need anything from here? I'm gonna point at the felucca.
Ain't mine.
And tell the wolves, by the way, that Jaden needed me to push him into the lava.
You threw Jaden into lava.
He told me to push him because he made a deal with the werewolf in him, made a deal with the Heavenly Seven to be their seventh.
They're down one.
They're down one. So I don't know
Killed their
who's-
seventh.
We killed Sticks. I didn't
That
remember
was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago, so I mean they're
thought
probably
they
still
replaced
trying to I think they're still trying to they were still trying to replace him, or he was supposed to be replaced.
Justin assumed that whatchamacallit was their seventh when he met Atticus, was the new seventh.
No, I assumed he was the new one.
Well,
Or he was the one.
Gotcha.
he sits there for a minute and he stops and he goes, how long until the tournament?
It's happening in 10 days? 12 days?
No,
About 9 days now, right?
Oh, that's right.
I think so. It starts on the 26th.
What's today?
It goes until the
It's
1st.
the 15th.
He looks at you and he goes, I don't have a calendar.
It's the 15th.
I don't either. I just look at the stars. They're the same across all the planes.
Like 8 days.
Right.
There's a city about 150 miles east of the base of the Cloud Steps.
Yeah.
Go there.
What's the town name?
We're all...
Lock.
Hell yeah.
God damn it.
It's a big hole in the ground.
What is it called?
Lock, L-O-C. Who are we looking for?
You'll know when you get there.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Will we know when we get there?
What's going on? Fucking callbacks is this going to call?
We like the nostalgia,
I really hope
Jason.
you didn't hear him.
As he begins to walk off, he goes, you better hurry. He's a talker.
Yeah. Do we know a talker? Does he have a limb?
So,
Let's start boogieing. We're gonna beat feet to the... Or no, we're teleporting, right?
I can tell.
Right, but the dragon is, we gotta give her, she's flying right now.
We can
We can go back to
Blacktopia.
Topia, yes.
And then we'll have 2 days to teleport back out.
Right, yes,
Because he cut us. Adam caught us in the middle of our journey.
Yes.
yes. Right.
Yeah. So.
Please. Cheer. He's a lot nicer than I thought he was, and he almost punched me in the
Yeah,
face.
you guys explained him as a lot scarier than that. I thought this was going to be a little bit different from that. I didn't. You also failed to mention that you were family with him.
Minor details.
Oh. I mean,
Cheers.
yeah.
he gets probably about 100 yards out from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You see him crouch and just jet into the air. This streak of fire coming off of his
And
feet.
he goes, moves forward.
No, he just lunged.
Okay.
Why aren't you that cool?
He didn't eat of whatever the thing he ate.
And afraid.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to be a phoenix.
afraid you're really big. I'm not really sure how we ate
I
one.
don't know. I don't know how we can do that.
Fritty, you're huge.
Yeah.
You're also really mean.
You know, I would be that cool if I had, 20 years of training.
Kedra, stop beating yourself up. You're cool.
He's older than you. He'd probably be in like his mid-40s.
So he's like 5 years older than me.
Yeah. But he's been training his whole life.
Yeah, I'd be cool too if I was doing that my whole life instead of getting.
I don't really like the negativity you're talking about yourself. You are cool. You're a great person, Kedra. Stop comparing yourself to others.
Everybody seems to look up to you.
I'm gonna thank you. Just frustrated.
It's okay.
Go over to.
I'm
where-
here to listen if you need me to.
Is the Phoenix ash still there?
With an egg sitting in it.
Oh,
I want to love it.
How hot is it?
Hot.
seems dangerous.
Two members of the party can endure sticking their hands into the ash.
Aren't I the only one? Yeah.
I'm gonna put my hands in the ash.
You're resistant to fire. He's trained in magma and he's part lava.
I'm gonna.
We were joking about the other day. I really want. What's her name? Alex. I want Alex to take my blood back. Oh, spicy! Oh, hot! Oh no! That's magma.
I'm gonna bury my hands into the ash. I'm gonna pull out the egg.
Okay.
I'm not sure raising an elemental.
Putting your hand,
Yeah.
your metal hand, into the burning ash as it's starting to heat, you see the slots in it begin to
Open up.
as this heat starts to roll out of them.
This is new. This is.
What are you doing with your arm there?
Do you want to roll an investigation?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody else want to help him or
Yeah,
also
please, give me
investigate?
A guidance.
My guidance and
I will,
some
and I will assist
advantage.
him. I will assist him in investigating.
Thanks for the assist back there when I almost got punched in the face.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You said that you foresaw him.
I just saw the fates. I didn't do
Saw you
anything.
not getting laid out.
You said investigation.
I told you I did.
Modded 20.
Modded 20. In the glowing red underneath this metal arm, you can see this kind of black leather skin underneath it. Like there's some type of organic component to this as well.
And I'm moving it with me and is it being affected by the
It just looks like the fire has awoken it a little bit more, or at least awoken the arcane enchantment within the metal.
Okay.
But you can, it's kind of like, think of it like a suit of armor.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see that there is something organic underneath this arm. It's kind of like this black leather structure. You wanna tell him to put it on Pinterest?
Put it on the Pinterest. My arm.
All right.
The organic thing in my hand.
Pinning it.
If I put this in my bag of holding, will it destroy everything?
It would destroy the egg. There's no air in bag of holding.
Destroy the egg. Am I gonna Yu Hakusho this thing?
Are we really sure that we want to carry a phoenix egg? A
Phoenix egg.
It's dangerous.
primordial titan.
Yeah, and when it thinks that we're its mother.
I'm not sure it's like a regular
No,
bird.
it's gonna be intelligent.
They hold their memories.
But we keep it in. But what happens if we keep it here?
What's the worst that happens? Phoenix chokes it again?
You guys are in a forest linked to the World Tree. Just so you're aware.
So we can burn the hell out of the world.
No, Adam could
Yeah.
just take it.
What happens when Adam gets a hold of a phoenix?
Not good things.
I could just put it in my bag. I think my bag's gonna be warm against my back.
But it doesn't have air.
No, he's just talking about his
I
backpack.
have
Oh,
a
your
bag.
regular backpack?
I don't have one of those fancy bags you have.
No, I gave everybody bag holding. You have one.
You never gave me one.
I'm giving everybody. a bag
Oh,
holding.
thank you. I would
You
like.
also do have a backpack.
Oh, good. I could put it in the backpack.
Next to the bag of holding.
I didn't know though if that. If you think that would be a safe bet for it.
It could. I mean, is this?
I can raise it.
Don't touch it. I feel like you're gonna get hurt. I feel like maybe we should alternate between carrying it.
Mommy
That's
and
okay.
daddy duty.
Probably. I mean, I think getting it away from here would be good, but I don't know that I really want to be around when it hatches.
What happens when the phoenix hatches?
What do we do with it?
It might be dangerous. Oh, I mean, the phoenix has lived on the material plane for forever. Like, it's part of being part of the material plane. I don't know, like...
But isn't Fennec gonna be mad that we moved this? He said he's trying to, like, absorb it.
Yeah, but if he's busy guarding the gate, then how's he gonna
coming
get
back
here?
Why didn't he take it with him, then?
Right.
Why didn't he take it?
He said it away. It was his last time.
Oh,
He needed to absorb the ash.
he doesn't need to do it anymore?
Maybe you could do what he did? Oh, no, you're not free to give
should
him on.
But I'm not...
We
but
can cook it.
Scratch that. Oh, look,
maybe I can get stronger?
you could. I'll probably have some people who that live with me that are older than me that might know more about
You
working
do
with
know when the
beings.
primordials come to existence, there is a massive explosion of primordial energy.
Oh, it's going to explode
You
in
should absorb
hatches.
that energy.
I don't know if I...
What if we all
Does the arm...
How long does it take? Do I know how long it would take for the egg to hatch?
Does the arm absorb it?
Okay,
Is that what it's doing?
maybe we leave it outside of Blightopia, far away, so it doesn't explode on Blightopia. We get some more experience. Like, I only have 137 years of experience. It's not that much. There's elementals that
I
have.
feel like that's quite a bit of experience.
It's not. I have elementals that have way more experience than me and would know a little bit
Isn't
more
Magnus
about.
like significantly older than you?
I think Magnus was like 400 something.
Yeah, so I thought.
Why don't we find out as much as we can and then take it to the correct place to not kill us all?
Right.
I'm gonna strap, like, chain it, so that way, because obviously if I use rope, it's gonna burn off.
But I mean, also, you know, what if we kind of used it in like
As a bomb?
as a bomb?
Let's go put it in our
My hands
enemy's
over
cave.
the egg, like it has ears. Don't say
Things start getting a little out of hand at the tournament. Kaboom! We all
I'm
win.
not yeeting a phoenix egg into a crowd, man. This isn't Waterdeep.
We're talking about the greater good here.
Weapons is.
The egg is the greatest good we're gonna get.
Tune in Friday to watch that shit show.
I'm just
Okay,
saying.
Tia, let's teleport. Energize.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cast the.
All right.
I'm gonna have to.
Is it 10 minutes? Or is it
I
instant?
think it's an hour.
Oh.
We got an hour.
Hold
We can do the Oompa Loompa dance.
I'm gonna meditate with this.
I wonder, while you're meditating, I'm gonna sit down next to you and just start talking. So, you seem a little caught up in
on. Just
like.
says one round.
Okay, then yeah, it's instant.
Never mind.
Let's. I want to take the moment.
You can talk.
Okay.
He has to draw.
When you start drawing
He has to draw it.
You seem a little caught up in destiny and fate and what you're supposed to do.
It's part of his charm.
Thank you.
I do. I've spent quite a number of years studying divination, and I think you gotta let go a little bit. Like, it just happens. In the morning, I can see every single path the day could take. Millions of them. It's hard to predict what happens, but ultimately, if it's destiny, it'll happen.
And,
You don't.
And one of those the whole
You don't gotta force it. You don't gotta think so much on it and dwell on it. Live your life. Do the right things. Be a good person, and it'll all come there.
I just.
Your accent just keeps rubbing off on me. That's how inspiring you are, Kendra.
I've tried to do that like all of my life.
But it seems like I just keep hearing about how you're being forced into things. You had to go on down this Jaden and train with him, and now you had to come out here and to find this person that you're destined to fight, and now you're destined to train to be strong enough to actually have a fight. Why? Why do you have to do all those things? If they're meant to be, then they're meant to be, and they'll happen.
It doesn't always just happen.
If it's destiny, it does.
And
If not, it's not destiny.
I don't know what that is.
Not really real, I don't think.
I don't know what my destiny is.
Like I said, every morning I see the paths of the people around me, and you have millions, if not billions, of paths before you. Some lead to good things, some to bad. But there's not only one.
I just want to be stronger.
I feel that. I think you and I have very similar goals. My people are also enslaved, and I want to save them. And we'll get there.
Stop putting so much pressure on yourself, bud.
As Tira's walking around you, drawing on the ground. Because you have to remember, Blythe was the one that made this circle, so it's a lot of stick figures and a lot of drawings of Blythe.
There's
One of Blythe doing this.
There's one of Blythe sitting on your shoulder, but then she's drawn X through it and redrawn it with you on the other side and her by herself.
So, over the course of the next few minutes, the teleportation circle is completed,
Everybody
and
in
you
the circle?
guys appear in the town square of Blythtopia.
Move this. Just gonna move it out of Blythtopia. I'll be back.
We'll go ask about it.
You guys were probably like midday-ish. The rest of the group was getting situated for travel and preparing to head when she arrives in the Cloud Steps. Is there anything else you guys want to go over before we call it for tonight? Questions, comments, concerns, anything that seems like I glossed over, you didn't get great reference? Just start getting situated for the drawing. If you haven't entered yet, enter the drawing.
Enter the drawing. Yeah, I want to just figure out how I can be strong enough.
I don't know why it's having issues.
We're two fire dudes.
You fire bros?
What's another fire thing that's not a phoenix?
A lot of stuff.
I want to steal his shit.
Dragons. Pretty. A lot of fire stuff.
I mean, fire's in the bloodline.
We'll see. Anything else?
So far as his cousin, what? I mean, I know that Griswold was supposed to kill Fennec, but what's Fennec's deal?
Griswold never said his goal was to kill Fennec.
Fennec's goal was to.
Fennec's goal was to kill Griswold.
Oh.
Because he always said he wanted to be more powerful than when Griswold would train him for.
It was other things too. There's a lot to it.
Oh, I could tell.
There's a lot more to it.
Daddy issues?
Yeah.
I'm assuming if I let Adam see Gloria, I'd probably die.
We'll see. We'll get there eventually. So, all right, I am closing the entries.
Today.
Does anybody else need to enter?
Where were we at? What place were we in? We were in the Violet Stretch?
Yes.
The artist formerly known as the Violet Stretch.
No, it's still the Violet Stretch. Everything else has changed though.
So kind of what you said.
Isn't that my name on the fucking group chat? Is like the artist formerly known as something?
Yes, the artist from the Blue Man. All right, I am closing the entries.
What?
You closed.
All right, let's see if Forsaken can get 3 in a row. Ready?
Ready.
Tyler Houlihan. You read.
Tyler O'Houlihan.
There you go. Shane no read good.
Classic
Reading's
Tyler.
hard. So Tyler, I'm gonna reach out to you. I need to get your mailing address, and we'll get those dice out as soon as possible. Like I said before, I'm going to the post office tomorrow morning, so I'll get all those things mailed out. So thank y'all so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. I can't close the stream from here, so it's gonna have to be Jackson or Aaron. And come back Thursday morning. It's gonna be 11 o'clock. For the 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon for our first episode of Storm of King's Thunder.
And that campaign will be an entire shit show.
Yeah, that campaign is designed to be a shit show and catastrophe. So just come on out, watch us fuck Jackson's head up. Bye.
Bye.